Let me share. All right, what is this? Let's see. Connecting, listening. All right. Testing, testing, testing. All right. All right. Just waiting for the judge to pop in. It takes him a minute. Please share. It's still early. And I usually hold the space for 4 hours. So people start coming in a little bit throughout this broadcast or whatever. Um, Hi, Sharice. Did I say your name right? Is it Sharice? Charisse. I'm gonna request for you to come up so you can tell me if I pronounced it correctly. Let me know if you can hear me.
Yeah,
Hello?
you did.
Is it Sharice?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I can't stay on 4 hours though. I got class
Oh, no, no,
tomorrow.
no, 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 no. You don't have to stay the 4 hours. We just end up extending it 4 hours because people, come in maybe an hour later or 2 hours later and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like a build up. But as soon as as soon as the judge come in, I want to talk about your situation. Like you could give us an update because I'm glad that it was resolved. I should say you're getting the support that you deserve.
Right.
So, and I think that's a good thing. And I think that people need to understand when they take the initiative to pursue something like you did, you get results, especially when it has to do with during college years.
I've been in school a long time too, so I'm over it. Honestly,
Right. And
I'm
you
over
ready
it.
to you ready to go into the real
Um,
world, real world.
yeah, and I wasn't. I didn't originally plan to do this, but after all of that happened in July, I'm just like, I could go ahead since people want to bring up my political affiliation, even though I'm not talking about it to people, like even though I'm not not at least not to students talking about it. I was like, I might as well because they already know who I am. So
Exactly.
whatever.
And it's an election season. This is an election year,
Yeah.
a major one. And young people need to understand the importance of voting, not just nationally, but locally, and the importance of getting involved in politics. So if you are at a institution, an educational institution, university, college, or even a community college, and you don't allow different groups, whether it's Republican, Democrat, Independent, Green Party, or what have you, you have to allow the freedom of assembly.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
and
when you, mhm,
I was gonna say, I don't think it's necessarily that they didn't want me to, but definitely the students did it. The students don't actually, because I don't think administration or like people high up can really like say no. But I don't know. Even when it comes to other chapters on campus, they just make it really hard for us to start things because I guess professors are busy or they just don't want to be an advisor because I heard that it takes a lot of commitment. But
mhm.
yeah, I'm waiting for the judge to get in so I can discuss more.
Yeah, because he even said that, he was surprised that you needed an advisor, which is, because I do
Too
know
much.
I guess you do, but sometimes you just need to have it approved by the student government body.
There's a chapter coordinator, like a woman that's over everything, and then yeah, so she has to like kind of approve it. But they have a lot of rules when it comes to starting chapters. So I'm gonna see. We still haven't officially started it because the rule is we need 10 students apart for us to be official. But I'm like,
Hmm.
let it like cut us some slack because we don't have that many people right now. But at the same time, I didn't even think I could find one person. So if we have only 4 people right now, I'm sure we can find more. I just have to figure out ways to recruit.
Well, yeah. So the majority of students, and once the judge come in, we'll tell everybody the background. But the majority of the students, they just are they Democrats, or they just don't care for politics.
Um, I feel like it's both. I had a student in my class on last Thursday when the story went viral that
Hmm.
he's like, "Are you Sharice Lane?" And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Yeah, I am, but like, wait till after class if you're gonna talk to me about what I think you're going to talk to me about." I made him wait, but he after class he told me he thinks that I'm doing a great job. Like basically, he respects what I'm doing, and he said that he's not really into politics, but he thinks that I should keep going and stuff. So I feel like it's a lot more students like him who probably are not uh they're just not paying attention to politics.
Yeah, but they need to.
I know.
And it's like, but I wonder, did they give a reason why they're not paying attention to
No,
politics?
I mean he's young. A lot of young people aren't. So, and I feel like they only pay attention around election time.
Yeah,
Other
but
than
it
that,
is
nobody's worried
election.
about their local elections. That's how I'm like, people are really fake because y'all don't even know who your local officials are.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, so are they going to vote in this year's election in
I
November?
don't even know. I haven't asked. But I'm just saying, like, people in general act like they care about politics when it's like the presidential election. That's when everybody is a philosopher and knows everything, apparently.
Right. Let me call him to see exactly where he is, because sometimes it does take him a minute to log on because of his Wi-Fi. Just give me 1 second. All right. So I just spoke to him. So he is home and he is getting ready to log on. Like I said, it does take the judge a minute to log on because of his Wi-Fi. And so okay. So everybody, please repost, share this space. Shout out to everybody that's on YouTube, because this is streaming on YouTube at The Real Judge Joe Brown 23. And tonight's topic, what did I put? Milton, the Hurricane Milton. We got to talk about that and the shenanigans. Hashtag Kamala Harris. Hashtag 60 Minutes, honey. Horrible interview. Well, not horrible, but I'm glad that I don't know the guy name who interviewed her, the black man, but I think that was a true interview, a legitimate um, interview. He actually did his job, and he did it well, to whereas other reporters just letting her slide by. But and then also hashtag HBCU. We have a guest, Cherise. And sometimes, well, Cherise, you have been on Fox News. You've been on mainstream media before. You've
I've been
been
on
in
a lot of platforms. Yeah,
a lot of platforms. You are very involved in politics. You are a registered Republican, correct?
correct.
Yeah. And you went viral
I go
again.
viral every year, literally. I don't. I have really. I feel like the older I get, the less I want to go viral. I don't like the less that I want the spotlight. Like that's what I was saying when I was being interviewed by some people yesterday. When I first went to FAMU, I was trying to stay as low key as possible. Like I was not posting political content. I'm still really not. I'm
Hmm.
just trying to be low key, but of course, people are people, and if they don't like you, they're going to bring up stuff. They're going to bring up whatever you're in or involved in. So
Yeah.
yeah, I couldn't stay low key for long, unfortunately. But I I actually like peace and quiet, not going viral, staying low key. Being all I want to do is these days get pretty, go out to eat, smell good, shop. Like
But
I really don't like too
what is your
controversy like
major?
that. My major
Yeah.
is public relations, and my minor is political science. So I'm supposed to be getting a bachelor's of science. I'm graduating next August, finally.
Okay, but you picked a major to where you are going to be in front of a
I
camera, or
know I'm just conflicted. Like I want to be low key, but at the same time, my passion is politics, and public relations isn't necessarily politics, but you can go that route. I'm in the school of journalism at FAMU, so we have to do the same thing, kind of the same things as journalism majors. Like I have a capstone project that I'm scared about
hmm
because if I don't pass that, I don't graduate. So
right,
I have to start publishing articles, and I haven't even started yet. I'm working on it.
right. Yeah, I mean, I think you more so just trying to learn a balance to, okay, this is work, and then when you're not working, to shut it down and tune it out. So it's all
Mhm.
about a balancing act.
I guess.
And I think you're gaining experience now on social media. Like social media is a starting point for a lot of people who want to go down that public relation journalism
Yeah,
route. A lot of
I've
people
had a
who,
lot of experience
yeah.
already, so I just wanted to go back to school to make sure that I'm well rounded in different things, and also because I do really want my degree. I just had to stop for a little bit, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna give up. Like I have been in school a little while, but it's okay. Like I'm back. I don't have
hmm
children or husband, so that's why I'm back. 'Cause I said I might as well get it over with.
Right. What do you plan on specifically? Like, do you have any companies in mind that you want to work for when you graduate?
I just want to work in DC. I hopefully, fam, you help me get some connection. I mean, I do have connections already, but get more connections to possibly work there. But I don't want to do an entry level job at the same time because they don't pay that much. And if I want to live in DC, I need to make a minimum of at least 62,000. And it's like being like a legislative aide or a legislative assistant. You don't make that much on Capitol Hill. Like I've interned there twice, and I talked to different people, and they don't make that much. So wherever God leads me, whatever path God provides, we'll see.
hmm You ever thought about working in legislation in Florida?
Yeah, but I don't want to work in Tallahassee. And that's what the capital is because Tallahassee is boring and I don't like it here and I'm ready to go. I'm from
Speaking of that,
Orlando.
are you well? So what's going? Are you near the where the Hurricane Milton is coming?
No, so I was close to the eye for Hurricane Helene, but the eye at the last minute shifted to Perry, Florida, which is by Tallahassee, Florida. So I had went to Orlando during that time. But now Hurricane Milton is headed to Tampa, and then it's gonna go straight to Tampa to Orlando, and my family's in Orlando, so I'm a little concerned.
Right. And what about Hurricane Helene? Like, what did that affect you, or did
No, we were okay. The eye shifted at the very last minute, so
okay?
we, by the grace of God, we're okay. But it shifted to Perry, Florida, and near like more country than Tallahassee. So,
Tallahassee is north.
hmm so it's near Georgia.
Oh, it's all the way at the top. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay,
don't want
okay.
to work here though. I really don't. I feel like I'll be miserable. I don't want to work in the capital of Florida. I cannot live here. I can't
Why?
because it's
Wait, are you
boring.
from Florida?
I'm from Orlando.
Oh, you so you wanna okay, so you wanna relocate when you're finished with school.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not renewing my lease. I don't want to. I don't want to stay here.
Oh.
I'm young. Like this city is for people who already have families and people who are older.
hmm
Like I'm from Orlando where there's much more to do.
So you want to go to DC? Have you stayed there for at least a month or something?
Oh yeah, I've interned there twice.
Oh, okay.
Hmm
So you're familiar with it.
The last 2 summers, so 2022 and 2023.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And what about New York?
I wouldn't mind, but like it's really expensive there. I feel like New York is more expensive than DC, or maybe they're the same.
About well, New Jersey and DC's, I would say it's more of the same. They're both
Mm.
expensive, but it's still slightly a little cheaper than New York. And you also have Philly, but Philly is turned into a shithole right now. New
Mm.
York is somewhat of a shithole, but it depends on where you're able to land and your job and everything like that.
I visited New York this summer. I mean, I liked it, but I didn't like the air felt very like heavy, and the sun felt weird.
In New York,
Yes, like it was
because there's a
really
lot of
hot. It was a
pollution.
different type of heat, and so I liked being there. It was fun, but it was really hot. Like I'm from Florida, but it was like a weird. It was like a weird, very weird hot. But that's because they don't have a lot of trees and just buildings. And then the heat, the sun was bouncing off of the buildings, and I just felt weird.
Yeah, it's because it's polluted.
Mm.
New York, New Jersey,
And that
and
the hotel I stayed in was so small, and I paid so much money. It's like I don't think I could really live here.
yeah.
You have to have money to have a nice size apartment, and even then, they're still not big enough.
Mm, but that's the thing. I think a lot of young people got to understand you have to, it's a hustle, and you really got to start at the bottom and then work your ass off to work your way up. And you got to probably, most likely, you got to have more than one hustle. And that's really anywhere, But if you want to definitely go into these major metropolis cities, definitely got to have more than one hustle. If I was you, I would start a podcast now, get it monetized. Hopefully, you could get it monetized, let's say by the end of this year. That's residual income that you'll be having coming in along with your um full-time job, in your career.
Listen, I have a YouTube, but I go to school full time and I work half time, so I'm just overwhelmed. Like that's why I had to stop social media stuff for a while because I'm like so focused on graduating. I had to give something up for that. So it takes a lot of work to do a YouTube or do social media stuff, and I really don't have it in me right now. To
Hmm.
be honest, like I'm overwhelmed with a lot of stuff, and I work a lot outside of class.
How many hours during a week?
So I go to school full time during the day, and then I work like 20 to 24 hours a week. So I had today off, but
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Well, the judge is here. Hi, Judge. How are you?
Hi there, ladies and
All
gentlemen.
right.
Hi,
So,
Judge.
Judge, we spoke about Sharice last week Thursday. She was a student at FAMU, and she it's the one she wanted to start. She wanted to start
I
a.
want to. I'm still in the process, so I want to. Yeah.
Okay, so you tell us the story and to give us an update because I don't
Tell
remember.
you, tell you like the beginning of everything.
Well, the article came out. Just tell what the article was about.
Right. So, okay, this reporter's been trying to do a story on me for a while, to be honest. Like, but I just kept dodging him because, like I said, I didn't want to be. I really didn't want the attention like that. But I agreed to do an interview like 3 weeks. Was it 3 weeks ago? When I after I came back from the storm, I believe. So yeah, he interviewed me about everything, but actually, like the threats and stuff was happening in like July. Like that happened in July, so that was a couple months ago. But yeah, he interviewed me, and I didn't expect it to go viral, but it did. And I've been getting good feedback, bad feedback. I really don't care. But since then, I've had 3 meetings. Well, I've had was it 3 meetings? 4 meetings with one professor, another with two professors together, one with the VP of Student Affairs, and then another meeting with the interim president of FAMU. So we're making progress. I just have to find more students to be a part in order to become official. But I'm gonna see if we can try to get around that because that school wants
Well, because you're
support
trying to
from
start a
students.
Republican club.
I'm trying to restart because it's been active on campus before, but 2018 was the last year.
Oh, and then it dismantled.
Yeah.
And you need an
Mhm.
advisor to come on board so that it could be approved. And the couple of people you reached out to decline.
I talked to six originally, and people were like, you didn't do enough work. That's not enough. You should have reached out to more. You can't reach out to everyone. You have to reach out to who's recommended to you, or a professor whose field aligns with the group you're trying to start. So of course I wasn't going to reach out to everybody, but of course people always have something to say if they don't agree with you or don't like you. But I was not about to reach out to every professor. I was not about to do that. I wasn't about to do no mass email looking for a professor. I'm not. I'm sorry.
And when you did the article and the article came out, the president of FAMU reached out to you and lended his support so that you can establish this group.
Yeah, I met with him yesterday. So he was
Dana, I'm gonna
supporting
have
me in
to
the
check
meeting
out and check back
yesterday.
in. I can't hear the lady at all.
All right, go out and come
Uh-oh.
back in. Because, yeah, she was talking the whole time.
Yeah, I can't hear her. I'm gonna go out and come back in.
Okay.
Am I gonna have to repeat all of that?
No, because we did the story last week, so he's familiar with
Okay.
it. um, yeah. But mhm.
But yeah,
So he reached out to you
should I wait?
yesterday. That's so this is the mhm.
Well, there's someone that just became a part of administration that has connects with him. So he told me that the president wanted to meet with me. So he went with me yesterday to the meeting, but he told me on like Sunday, either Saturday or Sunday. So I had no idea he wanted to speak with me, but the support the support has been great. He said that he does not condone violence. He said if I ever need help with anything, let me know. Let him know. He gave me his card, and yeah, it was just a very good meeting.
Okay.
And he's actually like, I don't know if I could say this, like a moderate himself, but I don't want to get into that because I don't know if I was to say that. But yeah, he's I was just saying he's more diverse in opinions and thoughts than probably the last president that just left.
Hmm. Well, is there a voter drive at your university?
I actually have no idea. And now, if it was, it probably would be put on by the college Dems. I do know
Why is he
Kamala is
down on
visiting
listener
school.
if he can't come on? I don't understand.
I don't know.
Judge, you're still on listener. You need to go completely out. Let me see. I could remove him and he could come back, right?
I, maybe.
Oh my god.
What phone
I
is
have
he
no
on?
idea. I don't know. His phone is all jacked up, and he actually needs to. I don't think. I think his phone needs to be upgraded. But let me actually
Come on,
let me call
Judge.
him because this is. I'm not trying to be up here past midnight. Yes. Okay, why are you still on listener? I am waiting to be invited in as co-host. But you said you couldn't hear. Oh my god, what is going on with you? All right, I just sent you the invite. I'm like, dude, you said you gotta go out and come back in, but you
It's
he was
okay,
waiting for me to
Judge.
send him the
It's all right.
You should have sent me a request. I just sent you the co-host request.
I'm sorry.
Actually, let me. Oh my god, I'm just gonna bring him as speaker. Jeez. All right. Can you hear her now? Say something, Cherise.
Hi, Judge. I don't think he's up as
You're
speaker.
muted.
This is listener.
No,
Me?
he
I
is.
I hear you
Oh.
loudly and clearly, ladies.
Hi,
Hi
Judge.
there.
How are
I'm
you?
fine. I've been listening to a little since I got back in, but Dana couldn't pick it up. But yeah, uh, this is the kind
Well,
of,
it's an honor to talk
yeah,
to you,
no,
first of
thank
all.
you. And this is the kind of activism that used to be called militancy, except it switched around a bit. I guess it's a new day, 50 some, 55, 60 years after what it used to be. So the conditioning hasn't draped across your shoulders. You're still fresh and innovative and rigorous in what you do.
You think
Yes.
so? Because I'm like, God, why does it have to be me? Why can't it be? Sometimes I'm like, why can't it be somebody else? Because I hate controversy. To
Well,
be honest,
yeah,
like I
used
know
to.
that sounds crazy because I'm in politics, but like
If
I,
it's
I really hate going viral, and
if
yeah,
it's
like the anxiety, my anxiety gets really bad
well, let me put
sometimes.
it this way: if it's controversy today, it's adversity. And adversity is what the human race has been about since we've been here, is dealing with and overcoming and prospering in the face of adversity. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So her HBCUs, right? Um, I think when you see when you hear black people, especially on social media, the so-called quote unquote woke, they always want to talk about white supremacy. They always want to talk about Trump is a racist or life isn't fair for black people. But when you look on the campuses, right, they lack for me, and this is HBCUs in general. They lack intellectual diversity
They lack intellectual vigor. In
because
other
it's.
words, they're
Mhm.
like, when it comes to intellectual matters, they're like couch potatoes. They
Because
aren't challenged to think anymore on HBCUs. They are taught to comply. And I find it most disappointing, these historic black colleges and universities that taught black people to be questioning and to deal with asking the hard questions. They're now being taught complacency, compliance, and shall we say, I hate to use this word, docility. Complacency, compliancy, and docility.
Oh wow.
so I want to ask you, Reese, that when that article came out, do you think that's why the president reached out to you to personally help assist you with your club? Mhm.
Not, I would say it's half and half because, um, like I said, I know in fact he's a moderate, and so I know he just got in as president as well. He's an interim president, so he hasn't been there. He wasn't really there when everything went down in July with the different students saying things to me. And also I told you about the guy who's also like now in administration who has connects with the president. So I think it was probably half and half. He probably saw the story and said, okay, I have to act now, but also I really do think he wants me to start it. Now if it was the last president, I don't know if he would have done it because he actually wants me to. He probably would have done it because of the pressure of the media. But I do know that the interim president, just got to the school, so I'll give him that. But I know in fact that he's not a Dem. Like I know that.
A Democrat?
hmm But that's nobody's business though. Like he's still the I would, like that's his business how he votes. To be honest. But I know that he does support me. I had a great talk with him and then the other guy who's on the administration now.
Isn't FAMU, wasn't it in the news recently? Then somebody was trying to donate some money and
Yeah, that's why I think that's why the other president had to leave because they got scammed. And I don't know how anybody didn't think that. I don't know how much was it. I'm gonna look it up. It was I don't know 500 million, 800 something million he was trying to donate, but I heard that it was all in like stocks or Bitcoin or something. Like I don't know how y'all got scammed. I don't know what's
so
going
I
on with
want to
that.
ask you before I throw it back to the judge. I want to ask you, and I know you're short on time. What are your plans for this group? Like what do you want to see come out of it?
Right. I mean, it's just a school chapter. I really don't know why everybody makes a big deal out of it, like the people who are mad about it. But honestly, just want to throw events, invite speakers. The first person I want to invite is a state senator by the name of Corey Simon to come and speak. and he's Republican,
Judge,
and
can
he's
you
a
mute
black
your
man as
phone?
well.
We hear the grit stirring. We hear
It's
the
not
water
grit
running.
stirring. Don't worry about it.
Can you
I
just
need to.
mute?
Is it that the sink?
Just mute. Go ahead, Therese.
Um, I want to invite conservative and Republican people to come and speak at the school. And the first person I want to invite is Corey Simon. And I met him. I posted a picture with him. He's running for state senate again in Florida, but he's a Republican and a black man. And I think that that would be great for him to come and give different opinions. And also, I want to go to conferences, maybe like go to CPAC. I've never been before, but just to give the students different experiences. And also maybe just do some group outings that's outside of politics. Nothing really big, but it's just like, of course, the students are making a big deal out of it because they think that everybody in the Republican Party acts a certain way that they don't like or whatever. But I don't know what I really don't know. When I brought it up in July, I don't know what was such a big deal about starting the college Republicans. It's literally just a school chapter.
Well, let me give you
I think
one.
that it should be welcome on
If I can
campus.
interrupt, maybe you're on the way to be a presidential candidate. You know, Hillary Clinton started off as a young Republican. She was a member of the cheerleaders, Goldwater Girls, when she was in high school. Then she became chairwoman of the Young Republican chapter uh, at Wesley All Girls College.
I didn't know she was
Oh,
Republican. That's
yeah,
crazy.
she was very staunchly into it. I remember in 66 when a bunch of us, 67, went to Chicago because King was leading some protests there against segregated neighborhoods. She and her two parents Rodmans were carrying picket signs supporting the continuation of the segregation. So that's her history. But I think the Republican Party wasn't the same then as it is now. It had strayed from its roots a bit.
Mm. I'm gonna be honest, Judge. I don't think I want to be president. I don't think
Who
that's for
knows?
me. I haven't even started my family
You
yet,
don't want
so
to be the
I
first.
want to
Well, you
graduate,
need
get
to
a
have a
job.
family because I don't think
I know,
you
but
really
like,
understand the responsibilities if you don't have a family. And the current
right.
uh, aspirant from the Democratic Party doesn't have a family that she's head of or matriarch of. So she really doesn't get it because she has no bloodline continuity into the next generations. Unfortunate, but
Mm-mm.
it is what it is.
Mm-mm.
She's a Catwoman, as Vance wants to say.
Uh-oh. Oh wow. But yeah, I mean that might be a spot for somebody else. Maybe I'll run for office one day,
Maybe
but
you'll get
not
called.
president.
You know, the breast preachers get called.
God is gonna have to call me because
No, God doesn't need to call you. Your fellow citizens need to call you.
uh,
God's worried
you think
about
so?
you going to heaven or not. You need to worry about the people getting where they need to go, even if that means going to hell.
Uh-oh. So you want to see me run for office, Judge,
Yeah,
one day?
that's what you're doing now. And by the way, they say humans achieve their intelligence not from working from with tools, etc., but because they had a need to be intelligent to deal with the intrigues that they set up for themselves.
Hmm.
Welcome to the club.
Are you gonna run for
I
office?
have been elected to 16 years worth of office.
Oh wow.
Not the, I think I have won twice and lost twice.
Well, teach me some things. I need to know.
Just be yourself and be about
Be
principle
myself.
and be courageous and brave. You'll be all right. Be about duty, honor, obligation, responsibility, and accountability, about making where you live a better, safer, more secure place filled with economic prosperity, sense of purpose, morality, and ethics. to encourage, especially the young men, to be brave and courageous, and you and the rest of the women, along with the young men, to insist upon public peace, dignity, and order. And it'll be okay.
All right, Judge. I'm gonna check in back in with you
And
in
Dana will give
15
you my
minutes.
number so you can get with me.
All right.
Okay.
We're gonna see. But I need to get married first and start a family before all of that. And
Yeah,
then be a
step
mom
by
for a
step.
while.
Now you see the problems you're having conceptualizing what you're going to do. And some people at your age, I'm going to be elected so and so. And I'm, well, hell, you don't even know a damn thing about life yet. Why do you presume that you would be fit for this office? See?
That's a good point. There is someone around my age though that's actually you guys probably heard of him. He's in my district that I'm from in Orlando. Congressman his last name is Frost, but he's the first Gen Z elected in
No, I
Congress.
never
So
heard of
what?
them.
But he's super
That doesn't
liberal.
impress me.
He's super
That
liberal,
doesn't
so I don't
impress me.
know.
I need somebody, you need somebody, we need somebody who's lived life and has learned its lessons, who is
Mm,
experienced and practiced in the ways of the world, the rules that apply to the world, and the considerations of living in and prospering in that world. That's what we need, not somebody who has some fresh ideas that are based on ignorance and lack of
mm.
experience. And by the way, I can usually tell they're the people that get called to the position rather than having long-standing ambition for the position. There's a
Mm.
big difference.
Well, anything else you want to add, Sharice? We're gonna. Well, it's open mic, so other people can request to come up and talk about whatever.
Right.
Is there something else you want to mention and talk about? You're voting for Trump, of course, right? 'Cause-
I should have told you not to answer that.
why
I
not?
mean, yes, I am. Because yes, I am. Because I you can ask me, but like it's okay. Yes, I am.
Are you like,
I voted for him in
yeah?
2020.
I mean,
But
is it you don't want? Sometimes you don't want people to ask you because of what other people may say.
Um, I mean, I don't really care what people say, but like I told you, I just be trying to stay. Well, I guess I can't anymore, but I just don't like controversy. But yes, I mean, I've been public about it in the past, so people know.
well, let me make an
I'm
observation
not
to
changing
you.
my vote.
When you get these polls, they are treating the what amounts to the popular vote as the controlling factor. It's not. It's the electoral college count. And you can lose the popular vote, but win the electoral college and become victorious. Trump has a history of outperforming the so called polls. And the polls are what? They're like you said, sometimes participated in by people who don't want anybody deep in their business as to who or what they're going to vote for or support.
That's a lot of people,
Yeah.
honestly. Even
And the
people
other
at
thing
school that
is
probably don't
when
want
you count the
to.
votes up where they are vital, meaning the electoral college matter rather than the popular vote, Trump's doing pretty damn well. A lot better than Harris. Imhoff. And by the way, please consider in your considerations why she wants to be known as Miss Imhoff, excuse me, Miss Harris, rather than Mrs. Imhoff. Now, think about all of these things, and it's not simple, it's complicated. But that's why humans are smart, so they can resolve the contradictions and the complications.
Um. Okay, so one person did come up. Can't silence. Hello.
Yeah, hi. How you guys doing?
Good.
I just wanted to say I love your cast right now, Judge Joe Brown. You know I love you. I grew up watching you since I was younger. To the young lady, Sherry, I think what you're doing, I think that's great. I think a lot of people need to see that what's going on in front of our face is wrong. Not too many people would try to do that, in their high school or anything like that when I was growing up because I grew up in Virginia. It wasn't so segregated, but when I moved to New York, it was just a complete different story. So I can understand where you're coming from in that situation.
Thank you for your support. It hasn't been easy, I'll tell you that. I stayed in myself a lot because I don't know who to trust up here, really, except for a few people. But I don't really go to events on campus anymore. I'm gonna go to homecoming, but I won't be going to everything.
Oh no, I
Let people
understand.
talk to me.
Anything else you wanted to mention? Can't silence because there's other topics we are going to be talking about. Kamala Harris 60-minute interview, Hurricane Milton, and the controversy and lies behind that when it comes to the Biden administration and FEMA.
I was gonna say on Hurricane Milton, I feel like that is so wrong that you could send money to a whole other country, but you can't even do something for people here in Florida and North Carolina. I mean, and let's be real, like we've lost plays in Louisiana and everywhere already, and they didn't really try to help with that either. That was good, good working citizens going out there doing that, and now they're trying to arrest people for doing that. I think that's kind of crazy.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, are you in Florida?
Oh no, I don't live in Florida. I live in Arizona. God, God,
Okay.
God bless. But
From
you
New York
know,
to Arizona, it's crazy.
I have plenty of family and friends that live over there, and it's horrible. So it's like, I pray for those people, and I just hope that they get the help they need.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, anything else, Sharice? Because I know you said you're limited on time.
I just hope that everything works out, that I'm able to start it. It's the issue with the students now. I'm going to see if I can try to get around that because it's like, why not just let us start it? Because this has already gotten media attention.
You know what I
So
wanted to ask
the
you?
pressure is on the school.
I just want to ask you, what is more important to you when you graduate, starting a family or your career?
Um, that's a good question. I'm not dating right now. There's a reason for that. I think for me now, I kind of want to graduate, get financially stable because I'm not right now, and kind of learn to be happy on my own because I don't think I'm traditional, but I don't think you should only find your happiness in your partner because what if something happens and are you going to be depressed? So I just want to make sure that I'm happy within myself first and have gratitude in my life before adding somebody on. But but I'm not anymore.
But when you do date, you're dating
So
with a purpose. Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I'm financially stable, and I feel like getting that way would be through getting a career first. Did I want to get married younger? Yeah, it just didn't happen. So I'm not gonna say I gave up on it, but as of now, I'm not dating. But I would like to in the future, of course, get married. And I think that it can still happen for me. But for me also, I'm like a different type of I'm not normal. So I need somebody that's not normal as well. Like I need someone special. If you understand what I'm saying. I'm not a regular woman.
Well, I just think that,
I know
but
I have a purpose.
right.
So
I just think it's, but it's that the reason why I asked that is nothing wrong with wanting a family over a career. It's just about picking the right mate, but just make sure that and it's not about you. Yes, you want to be financially stable, but what does that look like? And as long as you have a career that you can easily fall back to, that's fine. But most importantly, your husband should be financially stable.
oh correct, correct, correct. I just want to make sure I'm okay before I even start dating.
Hmm.
I don't think anybody really, if you're not financially stable, I don't think anyone should accept because such
Well,
as stress.
I would pay attention to the guys in the engineering department right now at your school who's seniors.
Oh, listen. I'm 25, so honestly, I'm not even looking for anybody at my
Oh,
school. I think I passed that age. I need someone a little more seasoned. So, like, I don't know. For me, I've always dated older.
oh.
I've always dated. I started dating when I was like 20, so I've always dated older. I don't want anybody at that school.
But you're 25,
Okay.
right? So you still have time. You still have
Yes.
time. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you, Sharice. I really appreciate you taking the time out coming on. Um, we got to get you on the YouTube show one day.
Well, I've already been on your show
I know that was
some
years
years
ago, but
ago.
that didn't count
Why didn't it
because
count?
my platform elevated. The
Oh,
judge is on
well, I was
there.
gonna
I
say,
have 100K subscribers, so I want you to come back.
okay, I can definitely come back.
Yeah. Even
We'll
even
plan
if
it.
it's like if it's because I do a podcast by myself every Wednesday, so I would love to have you come on. We could talk about current events, politics, or whatever. I like to have different people come on as well to co-host along with me. So yeah. So I know you're busy, but hopefully, we could schedule something out.
Busy and exhausted. I'm over school. I'm really over it. But I'm gonna push through. I got one more year and I'm done. And I do not want to do no masters. I'm over it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's probably time for you to take like a little break. Anything else you want to add, Judge, before we get into the other topics, Judge?
Is
I
he
don't
there?
know.
It says
Oh,
listener.
I'm sorry. I'm still here. I was just listening
Well,
because I
wait,
was
I
deep.
don't. On my end, the judge says speaker. So, are you? Is he?
Oh,
Is he
well,
a speaker or
I
is
can
he a
hear him.
listener?
I don't know. Well, if he's speaking, he's a speaker.
Judge?
I just said to my co-host, if you're saying something, Judge, we can't hear you. I don't know what is going on.
Mm-mm.
Uh oh. Uh
Judge, what is going on with your line?
oh.
Yeah, if he's having a
Judge.
problem, we probably gonna have to just end the space early.
Maybe you can invite it back up because mine over there says listener.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's weird because it says speaker on mine.
Oh my God.
Well, tell the judge in the future. Give me about 2 or 3 years. If he has anybody that he knows will be good for me in terms of marriage and dating, let me
Hmm?
know. Send them my way. Are you calling him? Hello,
Heck, yo. Well,
Dana. Anybody?
I mean, I'm still here. What happened to Dana?
I don't know.
No, I'm still here. Just give me a second, guys.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know what is going on with his thing, but it's annoying, and I don't feel like doing a space if it's going to like continue to keep doing that.
Right.
Let me see. Let me.
Okay, now it says connecting.
No, I just removed him, and I'll just tell him to come back in because I'm just like he does not want to. Let me see. Share this link. Copy. He needs to update his phone. His phone needs to be updated because that's why it's so janky.
Okay. Wait a minute.
The judge is probably part of the old generation, so he probably just don't want
Mm.
to.
Right. He gives all these
My
excuses
grandfather still have
like
a phone.
just update the phone.
Uh,
My granddad still has a flip phone.
Oh
That's
my
all.
mm-mm.
God.
Mhm.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't with the flip phone. That's it. That's it.
Let me call him back and see what is going on. Wait a minute.
Oh no.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Still
No, we're
here.
just trying to figure it out. I had to send him all the way out, so he's gonna try and come back in. So we'll see how that happens, if it happens or if it takes longer. I don't know what's going on with his
He need to come back so I can tell him what I just said.
Hey, really?
yeah, but
It was like, yeah,
he has connections issues, but I think he needs a new phone. He needs a but he wants to wait for the latest one. And honestly, I don't even want him buying the latest phone because a lot of these new phones that come out, they're not that good. He needs to just update his phone and delete a lot of apps. He has a lot of
exactly.
apps on his phone.
No, I agree with you. And a lot of these phones, they could track wherever you're at. So it's like, nah, I don't even trust this phone I'm talking on. Like,
I
how do
have
I
an
know?
iPhone 8 and I'm sticking with it. I'm not upgrading to anything else.
I feel you. Because it doesn't, you know what? Because, the further along you go with the phones, the more they could track you and see what you're doing. And it's like, come on, we're already having an invasion of privacy.
Right.
So it's
Um,
like,
Andres, did I say your name right? Andres.
Yeah, yeah, you said it right. Hi, everybody.
Hi,
hello.
how are you?
Good, good. I'm just wondering about the elections and all of this. If we know there's foul play, I mean, uh, if she wins, Kamala wins. I mean, what's gonna happen? Like, what are your opinions about that? Like, if Trump were to lose, I don't know if you're Trump supporters or Harris, but I mean, since her policies is towards we already know, right? Marxism and all that, or I mean, that's. I just want an opinion. I want your opinion, Dana, about it. Like
On
what do
the
you think can
election?
happen? Yeah, on the election. Yeah, like if we already know there's foul play going on.
Mhm.
Well, I don't know. I think Trump is going to win because the more she talks and the more, she's really doing more damage to herself, and nobody doesn't need to slander her because she's just doing damage to herself right now.
Yeah,
That was
but
a good
like
60-minute interview
yeah, but they edited it. They edited the interview. I don't know if you
hmm
saw that, but well, that if your opinion is that he'll win. Hopefully, he'll win. It just
Oh,
I would want a woman president, but someone that knows what she's doing. You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
nothing
You know
personal
what?
against
I don't.
her or anything.
Give me a second. You know what happens? So I just realized if I remove someone
Mhm.
I don't know, he so the judge just sent me a screenshot because I dropped him down a speaker and then I just removed him from the space. But I think if you remove somebody from the space, they can't come back in. I don't It's the craziest thing because he sent me a screenshot when he's saying that it's showing this space is not available, but the space is available. So
Damn.
then they're saying space is unavailable. I don't know. I don't
Mm,
know.
mm. That's weird. But
Yeah.
So how does he do YouTube if he doesn't have a good phone?
Well, when we do YouTube and I use StreamYards, it takes him a minute to get on there. It takes him like sometimes 15, 30 minutes to come on. And that is it's
yeah,
a lag. And I think he needs to upgrade a phone and it was the Wi-Fi, but he did upgrade his Wi-Fi in his home. But it's his cell phone, so I don't know. And if he's having a problem coming back in,
How
I'm
long
just
have you known the judge, Dana?
um 5 years now. 5 years, yeah.
Yeah,
So I think I'm gonna probably have to just start a new space. That's what it. Let me end this. I'm gonna end this space and start a new one, guys. On YouTube, just stay there on YouTube. Um, so I'm gonna end this and start a new one and send him the link and see if that works. All right, everybody.
all right, cool.
All right, because I want to say to him
I
what I
had
was
a
trying to
hard
say,
time
and then I'll
receiving
go
audio.
back.
Somebody just sent me an email. Yeah, they had a hard time receiving audio. So I don't know what the heck is going on. So all right, I'll start a new space. No, testing, testing, testing. You can hear me now? All right, guys, just sit tight. I just started another space. Let's see what happens. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Testing, testing, one, two, three. Let me know if you can hear me. Thank you. I can't stand that music. Let's see. I'm about to send you the co-host thing. Can you hear? You on mute? All right. All right, let me share this. I'm about to share this space now on YouTube. Let's see. All right, testing, testing, testing. Can you guys on YouTube hear? Dana X is being whacked. Come on YouTube. I am on YouTube. Hella Mel. All right. Can you guys on YouTube let me know if you can still hear me? Just say yes.
Yes. Oh, you talking about me? I can hear you.
No, I'm talking to YouTube, but you can hear me.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you can hear me on YouTube. All right. So, what did you want to say to the judge? That's before he got
I was just
completely
saying
disconnected.
I'm not dating right now, but in 2 to 3 years, Judge, if you know anybody that'll be good for me and ready for marriage, send it my way.
Oh boy. You want to be a mail order bride, or let's put it this way,
Wait, what?
online bride. You want to be an online or a mail order bride.
What does that mean?
Oh, look it up. Good as homework
I'm
assignment.
crying. What is a mail order bride? That's
Look it up.
crazy.
It's popular enough so it hasn't faded.
Okay. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, well, I'll keep you in mind and I will search diligently for you.
You said what?
I will keep your request in mind and I will search diligently for you.
You said Dillard's.
Diligently.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
All right. So, what are we gonna talk about?
Bye.
You gotta go, Sharice.
Wait, what else are you trying to talk about?
I don't know. It's open mic, so I let people come up and Judge. I sent you a co-host request. Did you get it? I let
I
people come
got
up
it.
and they could talk about whatever that's going on, or whatever. It don't have to be something trending. It could be whatever. If they want to say something, ask a judge something, or bring up something that they see in the news or in the media. So it's open mic. So it's whatever.
Why don't you
And this
ask
is for
what
the
you just
audience.
asked me?
What?
What she just asked me.
What are you talking about?
What our guest just asked me.
What did she just ask you?
She can tell you.
I just said in 2 to 3 years, if you know anyone that's marriage material that is looking for marriage, send them my way that you think would be good for me.
Are you having difficulties?
No, I just don't want to date right now.
Okay, but
I'm
I
over it.
mean,
So then how is he gonna send some you want
I
him to
said
send somebody in 2 years?
2 years, 2 or 3 years. Yes.
So you want me
okay.
to ask the audience judge that same question? Is this a date
No,
Yeah.
conversation we're having tonight?
Yeah.
no, that was all.
No, but you're asking a topical question that needs some answers. People seem to be having an inordinate level of difficulty with this.
Oh, with dating?
Mm-hmm.
This generation is different. The dating scene today
Also,
is not like it was back then, and I'm over it, to be honest.
also, how would you phrase it or characterize it?
The dating scene today,
Mm-hmm.
people are not focused on marriage. They're not worried about that. And yeah,
What are
the
they
men are
worried
cheap.
about?
The men are cheap. Always talking about 50-50. I'm just, it's too much.
The men acting like men?
Yeah, the men are not acting like men.
But I thought they were supposed to be acting like women wanted them to act, and that's what
Oh,
they're trying to do. Isn't
yeah,
that
but
the
not
case?
me. I was
Or
raised
is that
traditional, so
okay? So, in other words, what's being told to them isn't good.
no. But it's probably the way they were raised too, my generation.
Well, how about these called in shows where guys supposed to be macho giving advice on how to get laid and get women and what they have to say about how this works? Have you heard any of these shows?
No, but I have watched those pop the balloon shows, and I will not be going on that. It's a mess. Have you ever
Why?
seen the pop the
I have
balloon shows?
I have an idea. What do you think is the problem?
The problem with that with the show is people are looking for a viral moment. They're not going on there actually looking for a husband or a wife. They're looking for a viral moment. They're looking to criticize, and no, they're not serious. I don't have time for that.
What are you looking for?
What am I looking for? I'm not looking for anything right now, to be honest.
And I
But
mean, do
in
you
general,
anticipate looking for in 3 years?
I'm looking for somebody who loves God. I'm looking for someone who's financially stable, someone who uh, knows how to take care of a woman and a family, somebody who's ready to, someone who's a good communicator, affectionate. There's a lot of stuff, but those are like the main things.
Well,
And someone who doesn't cheat.
what about all of these young boys prancing around in front of the pulpit, spastically dancing around, not in time with the music?
Uh oh.
They believe. What about them? Would
You
they
talking about men in
qualify if
church?
they had all the rest?
You talking about men
Hmm?
in church?
Um, some of the males
Men
in
in church are
church,
just as bad. I'm not gonna
males in
lie.
church.
They're just as bad.
Hmm, that's
And
intriguing.
I don't even think some of them know how to interact with women or treat women. They're just as bad. They're kind of the same as the men in the world, if you want to call them that.
Well, I think this is going to be an interesting conversation tonight. So I think I'm going to add in the title Date Night with the Judge.
Oh,
And he could give relationship advice, or if people want to talk about the dating scene of all generations, young, middle age, older, or whatever, particularly young people. So hi Avia.
Hey Dana, how are you?
Good. How old are you?
I am 34.
Okay, so this is Date Night with the Judge. Tell us what's going on in your love life.
Basically single, just like Cherie said, it's a lot of just I don't know. They don't know what they want. It's 1 minute this and the next minute that. And then, you know what you have to offer and you try to show what you have to offer. And then, it's like, oh, never mind. Or it's just like manipulation, gaslighting, want to play games all day. Matter of fact, it's come to the point that an ex that I was interested in, me and him end up reconnecting, and he was still at his old games. Even I am very attracted to him. He's a very responsible guy, stable, everything going for himself, and so am I. So we're equally yoked. However, in like carrying a conversation and just being okay, when I say being normal, as in, just have a conversation. You don't have to do too much. You don't have to lie. You don't have to exaggerate. Just be yourself. And he's 6 years my senior. And I'm like, you're a catch. Any woman will want you. And everyone has options, but it's just like him in particular. And I said, I'm not what you are used to. I'm not about to fawn and, do all this over you. I show how much I am attracted to you, yet you try to, you know, act. It's just weird. So
So then how are you guys equally yoked if he's like, not ready to settle down or playing games or being silly?
I say equally yoked as in like career wise, where we stand in life. We actually been in a relationship. We were together for about 4 years and we stopped talking because he started to change it to another. He started to show who he really was. It was just a complicated mess. And it is on his behalf. I
So
really can.
who swung the block? You swung the block or he swung the block and you let him back in? Because I don't swing the block and I don't let nobody else. Once we're done, we're done. I don't like to go backwards.
He kept swinging the block, and until I decided, I told him to leave me alone, leave me alone. Then he swung the block. I'm like, okay, what do you want? And we went out, whatever, and I'm like, yeah, you have not changed. You don't listen. That's like literally the only thing. He doesn't listen, doesn't take things into consideration. And then I had a conversation about that the other day. And then he said I was talking to him crazy. I'm like, how? I'm just trying to have a conversation. I'm not calling you out your name. I'm not getting hostile, or anything. Nothing is perfect. I don't expect perfection, but have some type of cordial, just be cordial. And
Hmm.
it's just like, okay, that's enough for that. I had to block him today. So I'm just,
So are you done?
yeah, I'm definitely done with that.
Any advice, Judge?
Yes. Stop listening to the young males who run game. In other words, they're listening to other males who give advice and they tell the young guys what to say, how to say it, and what the game is. And they boast about their conquest. Well, first off, don't kiss and tell, so you shouldn't boast about your conquest. And there is no fixed game that works because each individual is different. And what you have to do is relate to each other. So, what is relating to person A and B is not the same as what that amounts to for persons C and D. But these guys don't get it, and they tell the youthful listeners that they have about how to run games, and they call them lame and all kinds of stuff because they're trying to set up something besides trying to get a piece of nookie, to be candid about it. And most of the ones, especially the ones that are trying to give the advice, don't have much nookie in their history anyway. So they're really rookies about it, but they're trying to act like they are all this and that. It works out crazy because the best way to run game on somebody is not to run any at all, just talk. Be yourself, be real, be interested in the other person. And if you two have anything together, it will click. If not, it won't. And game isn't going to put it there.
And the thing is, Judge, that we do have a lot in common, like from A to B, A to Z. Like the way we talk, the way we think is quite in common. It's just his actions, the way he act. It's like I can't even explain it. It's like I don't know. Like I said, I don't even know how to explain it.
If you two got together, do you think you would have a degree, an acceptable degree in confidence that he would provide and protect?
Oh yes, he's very well established.
No,
And
I didn't say that. I said, do you think he will provide and protect?
yes, yes.
Are you conflating economic status with the matter of provision? Remember, it also has something to do with how dedicated somebody is to what is it, these concepts of protecting and providing.
it's not only his economic status, it's just how he carries himself. He's very responsible, and he is a great protector. He also has two girls he's raising, and he raises them in a great fashion. He also has a younger son, and I see that. So I'm like, yes, he's very dedicated to, who he loves, and he's very particular who he spends his time with. I actually have history with him, but I, it's just
Do
kind of
you want to
confusing
get
me.
married? Do you want to get married?
Yes,
Does he want to get married?
yes, we even spoke about it.
How old is he?
He is 40.
Okay, a formula that has worked out pretty well. It's Islamic, but take one half of his age, that would be 20, add 7 to it, that would be 27. So what you just stated about your age, you'd be slightly too old.
For who?
In other words, you are 6 years younger than him.
Yes.
You are 34. If you take this formula, his ideal age would be somebody one half his age, 20 plus 7, 27. His
And
ideal woman would be 27, not 34.
He has 3 kids though, Judge.
Yeah.
I don't
I
Oh,
think
don't
I
think.
mean,
Yeah, I don't think that's.
lady,
think a
look, look, look,
27-year-old
look.
want to be a stepmom with
I'm
three
right.
not,
kids.
I'm not discussing this. I'm simply offering a discourse that is in the Quran,
And I
and
agree with him.
it does work. A man's woman should be one half his age plus 7 years.
So you're saying that she should date higher?
In other words, she's a little too old for him. She needs to go up. So
Right.
what
She
would
needs to
30?
date higher in
And
Okay,
age.
and hold on. Subtract 7 from 34. What do you get?
20,
27.
right.
So one half, 27 times 2 is how much? That's 50. How old? 54
54.
years old.
Hmm.
That's 10
54.
years older than her.
But
Yeah,
Judge, that's funny. We had that conversation the other day. I'm like, do you think you should date younger, someone in their 20s? And he was like, oh, that's too young for me. I'm like, so what do
maybe.
you really want?
Maybe. It's not that you can't date up. I'm just talking about ideals. And the fact of the matter is most women do not reach their peak sexually, looks, common sense, vigor, and everything else till they get 40, just like the guys don't. But everybody is in love with youth, so a lot's missed out with. So that means a lot of what gets taken as truth should be disregarded, perhaps.
I do agree with you with that. As far as women get better the older we get, because I'm in my 40s.
Mm-hmm.
Um, would encourage, and usually people end up with people closer to them in age. The only time that there are some times to where a woman may date someone who's older than her, let's say by 10 years, right? Because that's more of a big difference, more of a difference. But the man is two things. Either he is ready to marry this woman or be in a serious committed relationship, or is play. So if he's 40 and she's 30 and she doesn't have kids, but he already had kids, maybe he was already married, then it's like, okay, are you willing to give her kids and marry her? And that's he's going to think that, because if he's mature enough, because if you're not going to give her that and she wants that, then a relationship is just going to be for play, or you go your own separate ways. And if she is ready to be serious and not play, then she doesn't no woman should deal with any man who is still playing and she's ready to settle down. It's not going to work. So two people have to be on the same page as in their intentions, but that requires for the man and a woman to actually be honest about where they're at when it comes to their personal relationship at that point in their life. And the thing is, I think a lot of people are not honest with the other person and sometimes themselves as to what they really want. And they just go with the flow and that doesn't work a lot of times, just going with the flow.
Well, why don't you just see how responsive one part of you or one side of you is with this other person? In other words, how does it flow between the two of you?
And what direction is it flowing?
Well, it's
The
hopefully,
direction of the land to nowhere, or
well, the idea is hopefully to compatibility and suitability. See, basically, irrespective of whether somebody's got kids or not, that's why people mate. It's called mating. It's called getting in a relationship that would either potentially or actually breed more members of the next generation. And that's why we have girlfriends, boyfriends, husbands, and wives, is because is there a compatibility? Is that mating dance, that mating ritual satisfactory the way it is executed with the parties involved?
I have a question for you, Judge. How
Mm.
long, and then the ladies can chime in, and other people you can request to come up too. How long should you? How long should two people date or get to know each other before they get serious?
It depends on who the two people are.
That no,
I
you're gonna have to
haven't,
give a better answer than that.
no, that's it. It's no
What
better
does that
answer.
mean? Depends on the two
It
people.
depends on the two people. It's it's complicated, but basically it boils down to this. Uh, you go into a good restaurant, you order a steak, you order it medium rare. It comes out medium rare, may be juicy and delicious, or it may taste dry in spite of the way it was cooked and not too tasty. It depends upon the circumstances.
No. Um.
Well, I know you don't want to accept
No.
it.
No. No. The question I asked,
I answered your
and
question.
Can
it
I
doesn't
answer
have to
it?
be a specific time. But if I'm talking to someone for 6 months, right? It's like, okay, either it's going to get serious or it's not. That doesn't mean we're going to get married. That doesn't mean we're going to get engaged.
Yeah, but if you're
But
just
within
talking
six
about
months,
playing,
within 6 months, you know that it's either going to be serious or not. And a
well,
lot of
you
times you can
maybe,
tell before then.
maybe there have
I'm
been
not I
women.
would never, if a woman is looking to settle down, I would never advise a person to stick around someone more than 6 months to see if that person is going to be serious, because within that 6 months. Let me get to lifestyle, and then I'm gonna swing back to.
Well, yeah, but that's your particular perspective. But see, the subject matter the young lady asked is what works with men. That's your opinion of what works with you. Now, as I said with the guys, it depends on who that person is and who you are and how you get together. There's one woman, we are very good friends. She's married. Her husband knows about it. She's been married 50 some years to this guy. But before she met him, she and I had sex 15 minutes after we met. But we maintained a friendship for 55 years.
What
Now,
is your point?
I'm just saying, that's one point.
I didn't say, but I'm
Hold
not
on,
including
hold
sex
on,
in it.
hold on, hold on, hold on. Then there are other people that I have a very close relationship that took a whole lot of time for the relationship to be consummated. Now, it depends. Person A and person B, it may be 6 months. Person A and person C, it may not be 6 months, it may be 20 minutes. Person A and person D, it may be 6 years. It depends.
Hell no. I
Oh,
would
well, yeah.
never.
That's
I would never wait
crazy.
around for a man for 6 years to
Well,
be in a serious
then
relationship.
you might find that
No,
that
no,
is,
no, no,
you
no,
might find that it works.
no, it
Sometimes it
doesn't.
does.
Not 6 years.
That's for
Absolutely
you.
not.
That's
No.
for you.
No,
But
it's not for
what
me.
that's
It's just
no,
what it is.
no, no. You see, you falling into the trap that I said
No, I'm
about
not
some.
falling into no trap.
Listen,
I'm not
listen.
waiting. Wait. Let me
Excuse
just
me.
say this. Let me just say this, Judge, and I wanna bring lifestyle to the conversation. If right now in my life, I'm looking for seriousness, intentional. I'm looking for a relationship. I'm relation. I don't do nothing casual. So if I meet a man and we're getting to know each other, I'm not saying to him on the first or second or third date, oh, I'm looking for something serious or whatever. But what I'm saying is, I'm going to know within 6 months if if me and him are on the same page. If we are not, then okay, I'm gonna go my separate way. He's gonna go his separate way. I'm not gonna wait around to see if he's going to catch up to where I'm at or whatever. That's a waste of time, especially if you know what you want and the other person doesn't. Just don't deal with that person if you're not on the same page. You have to deal with someone who you are on the same page with. I'm not going to
Well,
force you
I'm
to be on
talking
my
about.
page. I'm not going to wait for you to be on my page. I'm not going to demand for you to be on my page. We're just not on the same page. So it doesn't make sense to continue something if I'm looking for something serious and you're looking for something casual.
Well, excuse me. You're defeating the purposes of my original premise, which is basically this. It depends on the nature of the two parties. Now, you say you won't, you say what you're looking after, but reflections on life and people you have become acquainted with. I know individuals, like, for example, I didn't just pick 6 years out of the top of my head. The 6 years actually works out to somebody having been married to this same individual for 50 years, or not still being married because one of them died a couple of years ago. So that's 50 years worth of
But that's for
marriage.
that
That I said,
they
I
probably
said,
dated other people
I did
and
no,
they just
no, no,
rekindle something.
no, no,
And
no.
that's for
That
that
I,
couple. That's for that couple.
that's
That's
what
not a
I said.
formula
I didn't
that's
say
going to
it
work
was a
for people in
formula.
general.
My premise was it depends on who the individuals are. There is no formula. Now, a
I want
certain
to go.
other.
Wait, Judge.
Wait a
Let me
minute.
go to
Hold on. I
lifestyle
want
because
to.
he's been waiting.
I'm gonna be quick about this. Somebody that you and I have discussed has a formula where it's a game. This is supposed to work, and this person tells young people how to work this game. It doesn't
I don't know
always
what you're
work.
talking about.
Yes, you do.
No, I
It
don't.
doesn't. Yes, you do.
No, which
California.
person? Give me a hint.
California.
My California?
The one, yeah, that one. And
My California. You don't
it
know what's going on
always
with
has
that.
a game and always has a program for the young men that listen to him. And I'm telling you, it's bad advice because it doesn't always work. And
Well,
the
we're not
answer
going to
is
talk
it
about
depends.
my California
I
because
know,
they
but
don't know. So
I know, but all I'm saying is the premises, young people, if you're listening, is what's right depends upon the synergy between the two people involved. There is no set formula that is guaranteed to work for all parties you might encounter. It
I'm not
depends
saying that.
upon the people, and it's relative. That's all I'm
I
saying.
know that. I'm not saying that it's a specific formula. But what I am saying, if a woman or even a man, but if an individual is wanting to date with a purpose, and that purpose is to get married, do not waste your time on someone who prefers to be single, prefers to be by themselves, prefers to still play around when it comes to their personal life, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Did
But
you
if
hear?
you want marriage and that other person does not, I'm not going to stick around and hope that one day that person would develop into that.
Okay, now did you hear the premises of the first young lady? She says, I'm looking for this in 2 years because I'm not ready for it right now. Because that is a reality.
Which
Sometimes,
goes back to what I just said.
no, sometimes circumstances are such that you have to make an investment. It may not be something that comes to fruition immediately, but it may be something that happens in the future. It
Right.
depends.
So
You must
again,
wait a
wait,
minute,
let me
wait
say
a
this.
minute.
Right.
Okay, go
I'm
ahead.
not listen. You're not understanding what I'm saying because you
I
just
get
made my
what you're
point.
understanding.
Using Sharice as an example, you just made my point. She's not looking to get married now. She is looking in 2 years. That's when she's going to be thinking about the marriage track,
Yes,
which
and
means, in
mhm.
2 years, when she's dating in 2 years, is for the purpose of marriage. She's not even looking to be serious with someone now. Now, life does happen, but just a general consensus on where she's at mentally, and this goes for men too. Where you're at, if you're not ready for marriage, if you're not ready for a relationship, then you shouldn't be in one.
Well,
I,
it's like this.
let me wait, Judge. Let me bring
Okay.
lifestyle into the conversation because this is not just
Uh,
me and you going back and forth. Go ahead, lifestyle. Then I want to go back to Avia and Sharice, and anybody else can request to come up. Good.
Hi, Dana. Happy birthday.
Thank
Um,
you. That's right. It is my birthday. Darn it. Yes, yesterday was my birthday, but I'm celebrating
Oh my
all month
God.
long.
Happy belated.
Thank you.
yeah, that's
Happy
probably
belated.
that's the main reason why I came up here, just to say happy birthday. What's
Oh,
up, Judge? I never spoke to you. Well, I spoke to you through the chat one time, but hello, Judge
all
Joe Brown.
right.
Wait, I
How you
can't hear
doing?
him. Is he speaking?
yeah, he is speaking. You can't hear him.
No, dang.
Drop down and come back. Come back up. Drop down and come back up and see what happens.
All right.
So,
I can hear you.
lifestyle. Did
Yes,
you
dear.
did you want to chime in on the conversation? We're talking about relationships tonight, no politics.
Um, so you know, I feel like I still believe in being in love. Like, I don't know if everybody else in the audience feels that way, but I still believe like you need to be in love before you get in marriage. I know that that's not what do you call it? Realistic, because a lot of times what I'm noticing is people get married out of, circumstances or necessity, or just even just the desire just being so strong, but that doesn't necessarily mean like they're in love with that their partner, whether it be a female or a male. But for me, and I don't know if I speak for other men, I typically feel like we need to at least date seriously, um, be having sex and all that for at least 2 years before I want to even pop the question, because, you know, a lot of times you don't really get to know a woman or a man. Um, people hide themselves, right? And so you have to be observant of like the behaviors that you're going to be dealing with, right? And if you just after 6 months you don't really know that person for sure. You know them, but you don't really know them, if that makes sense to the
Now that
audience.
makes sense.
um and so I feel like a 2 year minimum, but I know a lot of women feel like my mom, she got married within like 6 months. It didn't take her long. And then I had an ex-girlfriend that I broke up with, and she got married in 6 months. But the same ex-girlfriend hit me up not too long ago talking about some, if I could do it all over, I would have never did it. And mind you, they have 2 children together. She adores her husband, but she specifically told me that she would, if she could get back in the hot tub time machine, she would have never got married or had children. Because a lot of the times what I'm noticing, like what the judge said, is women don't really get to fully develop themselves, meaning your interpersonal, um before you get married. And then by the time you get married, you realize like, yo, I got shit I want to do for my personal self that I never got to do. But because I have this many children and I got a husband to attend to, I can't really get my accomplishments out. And so I like to date women who are ambitious, that work and are go-getters, whether they're in business or they're getting a degree or they want to be doctors or whatever it is. I like a woman who's already in her plan that wants to be married or be in a relationship because she is already taking care of herself, right? Because when we get in these relationships, a lot of the times we become codependent on the other partner, as we should, but we become codependent in the situation where we become unfulfilled later. And so that's why we're seeing an epidemic of divorces. People are married for just to put it out there. Well, I might be not a good example. I was going to say Judge Mathis and his wife, but people get married and then become unfulfilled later, and the next thing you know, they divorce. You know what I'm saying? And 9 times out of 10, the man doesn't typically get married again. I don't know really for women, they might get married again, and I'm sure there's statistics out there that answer these questions. But for me, and again, I don't know if I represent all men or not. Um, I'm gonna wait because I don't know you, and I know women because I've dated a lot of women in my lifetime of 38 years. um, they typically hide themselves. Not that it's a bad thing, but they typically don't really release who they really are, their ambitions, their emotions, their feelings, such and such. They stay in a protected shell. Now, women might disagree with me and all that. That's fine. I'm just going off my experience. Um, so I'm waiting for you to bloom before I even think about popping the question. And I'm gonna be honest, that strategy hasn't necessarily worked for me because a lot of women that I've been running into, they just want to rush into marriage. But like I told you, I had an ex-girlfriend who still to this day, I think we have a lot of love for each other. And she ready to get in the hot tub time machine and go back to the past, right? Not to the past literally, but meaning that she wouldn't have got married, she wouldn't have had the children, right? So it is to each his own, but I think we also have to understand that this era that we're living in is changing. And with the changes that are coming in the era of this world that we're living in, men and women are changing. And like the Bible says, in the end times, men will be like women and women will be like men. And so we're seeing that dynamic change. And I sequester the audience, men or women, to just go on YouTube and type in single life or single man or single woman. Yo, it's crazy. There's a lot of testimonies out there of people being single and living single, not because they can't find a partner. That's part of the reason, but really because um maybe they missed out on it's different situations for different people. I'll leave it at
How
that.
old are
But
you?
I just think I'm
And the
38, dear.
women that you date are how old? The woman you said, like you said, that girl.
I only date women. If To answer your question, I only date women that are in their
So
30s, whether that be 30
right,
and
so
up.
that's why they're ready. That's why they're like trying to rush into marriage because, society when it comes to women, it's like the older you get, the more people pressure you to get married. So that's
So
why.
when I was with that ex-girlfriend that I was speaking with, she was under pressure by her friends because all her friends were married. So she felt like she needed to be married. And I don't know if it was out of competition or just because, she wanted to keep up with the Joneses. But at the same time, like I said, she really regretted the situation that she made because she really didn't really take the time to say, dang, I really didn't really do the interpersonal work before I just jumped in a marriage.
I hear you.
Now, I want to be married too, but that's only because I'm getting older and I'm coming up to my 40s and I'm feeling like, oh yeah, I want to have more kids. I want to be in a serious relationship. I want a long-term relationship. I want somebody I can grow older with. But in all actuality, I don't really know if that's really possible in a lot of the people that I'm dating with right now because everybody's in their own mental space, whether that be their career or that be, whatever else they got going on in their lives and stuff like
Hold on
that.
one
And
second.
what I'm
One
seeing,
second. Are you still there, Judge? Judge, are you still there? I don't think he's there.
I'm
no, he's
here.
asleep. I
I'm
can hear
not
him snoring.
snoring. I'm listening to you.
Oh, all right.
I hear you. I'm just listening to the dialogue that the two of you are having. But
uh,
it's. But see, everybody has opinions about how to deal with the age-old thing of men versus women, men with women, women and men complementing each other. And it's versatile. It depends upon the men and women involved in the particular individual potential couple. Now, young man, you said some things I agree with. Dana, you have too, but that just shows you the yin yang thing. It balances out when it works right. And often, what our problem is it's not being worked with the right person. In other words, that person isn't for you. And it's where is it going? Are you trying to get into a mating thing where you mate and become a couple where you breed with each other, hopefully, and contribute your gene pool collectively to the next generation? Or what are you doing?
A- Avia,
So
wait one second.
if
Avia,
I
you wanted to say something? Yeah, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say something. When he mentioned about just coming already in love, see, well, my formula is I have to like that person first. So, like, that's the most basic thing. Okay, yeah, I can love you, but me liking you, you know, is two different things. I have to like you, like what you do, like how you move, just like you. This is like the most basic thing. And then going to loving you. That makes me fall in love with you, with liking you. That's how I do it. Like that's the most basic. That's like the fountain of falling in love for me.
Good
Like
point.
you know how
Very
people
good
say
point.
they would like to marry their
so the
best friend. They like their best friend. So
if I can respond to her, most women that I've dated fall in love with me first. I don't usually fall in love with them first because, like I said, I like you already. That's why I even got your number. And if the conversation is working and we dating and that's working, then yeah, I like you a lot, And and depending on the situation, I'm dating you exclusively. But being in love, like she said, for her, that takes me a minute because I'm weighing out long term as a man. I'm weighing it out long term because I'm not trying to get no divorce. I'm gonna be quite honest. I'm not trying to be battling with you either.
exactly.
My Bible tells me that a contentious woman is like a dropping on your head, or it's better to be on top of a rooftop than be inside of a house arguing with a woman. So, I've been through those situations. In reality, I'm not doing that.
And husbands
We
love their
not fighting
wives.
and all that. And I'm not saying that we not gonna argue, but what I'm just saying is that the contention I'm not doing that. And I'm not doing all that tension where it's like, dang, are we on the rocks? You know what I'm saying? All that. No, 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 no. I need a woman that knows that she loves me or likes me, whatever, and that wants to go the distance. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that it takes time. Back in the day, I really feel like, and Judge, you could chime in after this. I really feel like they took their time a little bit more than often. People had kids, and when back in those days, when you had kids, you tend to get married because you just had kids, and that's the expectation. But a lot of people, like my grandma said when my grandfather died, she told everybody that they were like two ships going in different directions, but they stayed married for the kids. You know what I'm saying? And by the time you get old, it's like, what's the purpose of breaking up, even though we're not getting along or we're not going in the same direction? We might as well just stay married. And that's why I was gonna bring up Judge Mathis, because I'm like, damn, y'all been married for a long time, regardless of what he did or you did. What the hell is the purpose of y'all getting a divorce? Not that they can't find somebody else, but really, Judge Mathis is just gonna be out here tricking his money on younger women, probably. You know what I'm saying? Because more than likely he's gonna go with what he's attracted with. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying what what I'm observing. So I just think that we need to take our time. And most men, in my opinion, and even according to the Bible, most men aren't ready to be married until the age of 40. Like, it takes us a minute to build up that financial issue, that number one, finances. So I was told there's two things to a marriage: finances and sex, right? And we tend to, when we date, we tend to figure out, okay, if this the woman or the man can put it down for us, you feel me? And so we like, okay, I like the sex, okay, but then like the financial thing is a big thing. A lot of people get divorces over finances, and things in life change. Like a man might not always be stable, right? Because he might have a good paying job, he might got a degree and everything, and then something changed in the economy, he don't got that no more, right? Or vice versa for the woman.
Well,
You got to be willing to understand that when life changes, that we're a team and a unit, and you can't just jump off the ship, right? Go ahead, Judge.
I said you're right on that. That's what I was talking about. It depends upon the person. And for what the young lady said before you, there's a concept with being in love with somebody you can't stand. Beware of those
Well, if you
things.
can't,
But
I'm
you're on
not
the
in love
right
with you.
point.
If I can't stand you, there's no way I'm in love with you. So,
You might have that happen. It's happened to the best
and
of us.
I think it was Avi. I said that that she's talking about you have to like the person. That's very important. Like, whether the love is there, I have to like you, because before I can even love you, I need to like you, and I want that like to stay there. Like, that is liking, and we don't really need to say, oh, we're friends first. No, you're my man. You know what I'm saying? And we're lovers and a whole bunch of other stuff. Because if we break up, we ain't really friends. You're not my enemy, but I kind of don't fall on that friend thing, but I still have to like you and I have to respect you. And if I don't have those two things, then we really don't have nothing. Let me just let the room know. Can you please repost this space? We're talking about relationships tonight. We're, I guess, getting a break from politics, and that's fine. So we're talking about relationships. If you want relationship advice from the judge, ask, request to come up. It's still open mic. If you want to state your own opinion about relationships or share your stories or whatever the case may be, or bring something up, please do so. And yeah, and
Dana, can I rebuttal to what you said really quick, and
okay.
I'll go back on mute. So in relation to what you said, it made me think about Obama and Michelle Obama. And I don't know if you read her book, but she said she hated Obama, meaning she disliked him for 10 years of their marriage. 10 years. That's a long time to dislike somebody.
Well,
So
I think you're taking out of context, because that was when he was running for office or something. So she said and I think because he got into politics, that possibly could have put a strain on her marriage. But yeah, but when you're married, you I think she still respected him because you're there. Like, that you're not gonna like the person all the time. Like, sometimes people get on your nerves, but the individual, like, that person is a good person. The person. So you may piss me off today, but I'm not gonna leave. I'm not gonna divorce you. So maybe she was, I don't know, I didn't read her goddamn book, and honestly, i don't I don't take what these politicians say, and even the ones married to them, on face value. I'm sorry. And I remember, because that went viral, and there were a lot of people saying, why was and that was it, she said that on a show. I don't know, I
I
didn't
think
read
it
her
was
book.
after they had kids. It was sometime,
Yeah, it was
like you
after the
said,
kids, and
yeah.
kids sometimes can change the relationship. I don't know, but she said it on a show, and she got backlash, because it's like, why are you saying that in the public as a black woman to a black man, or whatever the case may be? So yeah, I don't pay politicians or celebrities any. I don't take what they say at face value. Amazon, he's new. Hi.
Excuse me.
Hello. Respect to the host, Donna, and Judge Joe. It's a pleasure talking with you. And to
Thank you.
my friend
Hi,
Cherise,
Tree.
what's up, girl? I love you. How are you doing? The only reason I'm in this space
Good.
is because I saw you was here, and I came in and I listened. And Lifestyle said something about being in a relationship for 2 years before marriage. And my question to him is, does that include sex? Are you going to have sex with this young lady during the 2 years? Are you going to abstain from sex during the 2 years before you actually get married to her?
Ma'am, if I'm attracted to you, we having sex. I mean, and that's not even just me. The woman gonna want to have sex too. You know what I'm saying? Especially if she's attracted to me and she feeling me, like Dana said, she's in like with me, right? We're gonna have sex. And like I said, for me, I'm more now that I'm in my later 30s, going into my 40s, I'm definitely not only exclusive, but I'm not just having sex with nobody. And I'm not putting on no condom. I mean, like, look,
You're not putting on a condom, so you're
hear
having
me out, hear
raw
me out.
sex.
Hold on, dear.
I heard
I didn't need
enough,
to finish.
actually. You answered my question. I don't really need to go into. I don't
No,
need you to
dear,
go into a
I
rant.
just need to
Okay.
finish. I just need to finish. Thank you. So what I'm saying is that the next time I have sex, I'm making sure that this is going to be a permanent situation because I don't want to put the condom on. Like when you put condom on, that means that you running around, right? I did all my running
No, it
around.
don't.
Go ahead,
Okay.
dear.
Okay. Let me.
No, it
Okay.
don't.
Yeah, it doesn't, Therese. See, ladies, let me tell you something. Lifestyle is doing what he loves to do. And when you hear something like this, how come you don't see the red flags? Okay. So this um young man says that you're not worth a ring. You're not worth the vows. He has the nerve to call himself a Christian, but you're not worth the vows in front of God. Okay. You're not worth to making that union to unify together in holy matrimony as one. Okay. Man and woman put together as it's spoken in the Bible. By the way, I'm an atheist. So don't try to shame me with
Ma'am, that
Christianity.
is not
Excuse
what
me,
I'm
I am
saying.
still talking. I gave you the respect. Give me the respect. Now, when a
Ma'am, you're
man
aggressive.
reveal himself to you, you need to look at the signs. So you're not worth the ring. You're not worth the commitment. You're not worth the title of wife, but you got to give it up. You're going to have somebody who says, I'm not even going to give you the respect of your vajayjay and put a condom on. That means that you can probably have bacteria from another woman that's going to affect your vajayjay. This is
Ma'am,
what I'm
you're
talking about. You got to
misinterpreting
let
what I'm
these
saying,
men be
dear.
who they are and avoid them at all costs. I noticed that I was listening to the space anonymously, and this man is boastfully saying, you're not worth the marriage, you're not worth this, you're not worth that, this, any other. How do y'all find this appealing? And then you still give it up. And then when he basically get what he wants from you, he moves on to another woman, and now you upset, want to slash tires, want to sit up here and embarrass him on social media, want to cry on TikTok and Instagram. And when he showed you who he was from the beginning, my question is, how come you all don't see this for who it is and you go with people like this anyway?
I
Ma'am,
understood
ma'am,
everything
if
he
I could
said.
respond to that, I did not. Thank you, Ava. If you don't mind me responding to her really quickly, and I'll go back down. That is not what I said. It's being misinterpreted and taken out of context.
What was
Number
taken out of
one,
context?
If I
everything
might,
that you said, it
Like
sounds
what?
hold
like you're
on,
just
Give me some
angry.
specific.
hold
I'm
on,
not
hold
Go
angry.
ahead,
on,
Judge. Go ahead,
hold on.
Judge.
I heard both of you. The interesting thing is, you both said the exact same thing. Now, ma'am, you're saying you won't have this, that, and the other. He agreed with you. He said he's not going to get into casual relationships. He is only going to focus on those things that look like they will lead to a marital relationship. That's the same thing you said. Once that threshold has been crossed, you have to investigate to see if this is real or it's just a wish. So
No,
you
Joe,
two,
I don't believe that women should have sex before marriage.
excuse me, it's not necessarily different than what he said, but a lot of women don't want to get married before they have sex. There's a good reason. And if you give me about 2 minutes, I think I can get it out.
Okay.
Have you ever heard people that say, I'm not photogenic, but they're not bad looking people? Yeah, we
Uh,
all have. What's going on is that you're getting a photograph of somebody's body language message. When you are talking to somebody like now, basically somewhere around 25 to 30% of what you're saying is the words you're using, and the other 65% is the tone. If you're standing face to face when you're talking to each other, only 15% of your communication consists of the words you use. 35% basically is consisting of the tone, and more than 50% is the body language. And that 100% deals with the totality of your communications. If you're having sex, you're not saying anything, but effectively it's 100% body language that's being involved in the communications. So what happens is people make love or have sex very consistently with their real personality. And what some women are sensing, some guys are sensing, is they want to have sex first to see how it goes, because you may be getting a front. You may be getting a pretend. You may be getting a big lie. You may be getting the truth when you're talking to somebody otherwise. But when you get basic and things get hot and it's all body language, you find out what they're really about. And that's what counts. So you may find somebody who has given you a great impression. You get committed to them totally, you get married to them totally, and you find out it isn't anything because it was all based on a false belief or premises. Now, when we had this thing where you got married first, then you had sex after the marriage, which was a traditional way to consummate the marriage, there were other things going on besides love. There were economic considerations that were stronger than anything else. There were alliances, all sorts of things. So the love was secondary to what was being established politically, economically, filially, and all kinds of other things with getting married to somebody. Now we don't have that. We have court ordered child support, spousal support, alimony, temporary support, how the property is to be divided up. So we get back to the essential of love. To love somebody means what that person is really about and what you are really about collaborates. It is enhancing. It is a synergistic thing that causes people to be more than they ordinarily would be. But unless you have some firm way of finding that out with reliability, you're dead in the water, or maybe you luck up and you are successful. You throw dice. So people nowadays want to have sex to see what happens, and that becomes a bind between the two of them. You mate in the process. And unfortunately, today, with as loose as marriage has become, the whole binding prospect goes out the window. It's just style, so to speak. But anyway, both of you have a good point. So I
Judge Joe,
withdraw.
I have a question now, and I know, and you
Sure,
keep it real. When a man looks like at a woman, it's different than when a woman looks at a man, right? Because
sure.
we understand that men are visual, and this is the reason why their genitals on the outside because they're external, and women are emotional, we are internal. So that's why our genitals are in the inside. So therefore, when
Maybe.
we're not we're not internal, we're not emotional, we're not, and I don't say emotional in a bad way, right?
Well, let me add this. I anticipate what you're saying, but correct me if I'm wrong. I've
Okay.
handled a lot of divorces and I've done a lot of marital counseling to keep people together. That's what good lawyers do. You have clients and you can try to keep them together, or if not, you can get them apart. Now, here is the thing. Uh, this internal versus external is not necessarily what's going on. It's got to do with what is there between the two of you.
No, I'm trying to break
Uh,
down how we approach each other
Okay,
differently.
I know that you do
Okay.
approach each other differently, but the bottom line is what warms you up.
Yeah, see that what define warm up? Is that a sexual innuendo or what? What or am
Well,
I cold
it's
outside
like
because it's
this.
2 degrees?
It's like this. Let's just take sex. There are three kinds. There is screwing, which is I'm bored, let's screw. It's something to do. Excuse the language, that's fucking. That means, God, I got passion. Let's go at it. Most people can't really feel that kind of intensity and they never get around to it. And then there's being in love, and that being in love, you feel this continuity from the beginning of time all the way through where you are. You feel part of it. This is a continuous thing, and you become a link in the chain from where it was way back when with the ancestors. You become part of that chain that leads to the future. It is a synergistic thing where something happens that is wonderful, so to speak. Now, how that happens depends upon the two people involved.
Judge, men are normally thinking from a sexual point of view.
Not always,
No, no, not always. Not
but
always.
always, yeah,
But,
this
but
is
hold on,
the
hold on.
thing.
When men are when a man looks at a woman, okay, he's not thinking, "Wow, I bet you she had a 4-point GPA in high school,"
I
and
don't give a damn. He
right,
doesn't give a
you
damn.
don't exactly.
No,
But
no,
hold
no, 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 no. Hold on, hold on. He doesn't give a damn at first.
he
But when he
never
starts,
gives a damn,
no,
Judge.
yes,
Come
we do.
on now.
Yes, we do.
Judge, if I could
Yes, we
chime
do.
in,
Wait a
No,
minute.
Judge,
no, let him talk. Let him
Hold
if
on.
I
finish.
could
Let him
chime in really
Yeah,
finish.
quick, Amazon.
hold on. I'm
No,
gonna
let
be.
Judge
Let
finish.
me finish
Wait,
very,
let the
very quick.
judge finish, and then I want to get Nick in the
Let me put it
conversation as
this way:
well.
when you get interested, you get very much concerned about what she did academically because that likely gets passed on to the children you might have with her. Now, men are initially visual, women are too. They're more visual than men. But you know what women look for? Success in life. How did he manage the adversity of the world? If I get with him, will I be better off with him than I am by myself? He's looking at you physically because that's nature. You know why that's nature? If you look at the reconstructions of some of our ancestors, close and remote, it's obvious that at one point we look quite like chimpanzees. But the reason humans don't look like chimpanzees anymore is because human males were looking for what they considered to be attractive. Human females are looking for something that's intelligent, which is why we are no longer as dumb as simple apes, because everybody's looking to advance their children beyond their own state. They haven't had the children yet, but there is a sense of what the child is going to be like. The men look for the appearance, which is why we don't look like chimps and Australopithecines anymore. We look like modern humans because there is this cost analysis, which is I'm going to work my butt off if you're a guy. I'm going to protect this woman. I'm going to die for her if necessary. I'm going to devote most of my life to protecting her and the children that I have for with her, which nowadays is alimony. You're going to dedicate it whether you like it or not. And she's going to make me feel very good about being with her. And you're saying, why should I get with this guy? What can he do for me and any children that I have? Will he protect? Will he provide for? And you make these assessments. Humans do that. That's why we are no longer where we used to be, swinging through some damn trees like a chimp that swings through them like Tarzan.
One second, Amazon. So I wanna bring Nick into the conversation, but real quick, let me get to some of these YouTube comments. So the last resort says, I thought this was funny. Maybe we should talk about reparations instead. No, the last resort. This is relationship space tonight. Relationship, sex, dating, marriage, all that. Taking a break from politics. Gigi said he ain't married. Why? And Joyce says, is the judge dating? Yes, he's dating and he's single and ready to mingle. And Gigi wants to know why you're not married. Well, he was married twice already. But why you not married now?
Because I haven't found anybody that's suitable for me, A, or B, that I'm not suitable for. So
Okay.
it just isn't a synergy. I've
All
been
right.
married twice. I have dated with some very beautiful women. I won't mention some of their names because some of them probably are known to the people here, and we're still good friends. I
All
have
right.
one
Oh,
ex-wife that still, we talk every birthday or holiday. We send each other greetings. And one is a bee I can't stand that is a damn demon. But it depends,
all right. I want to
you
get to
know.
Nick and then, the floor is still open, but I want Nick to give his thoughts, being that he's new up here. And anybody else want to request to come up, please do so. Go ahead, Nick.
Hey, how's it going, guys? I've talked to Judge Joe Brown before on a couple of constitutional spaces. I'm a very philosophical type of feller, um, and I believe that we've been brainwashed into what we think our ideal female is, or even for the females, what we think our ideal man is, and when you really break it down to brass tacks, it's can they prove it? Can they say something? Anybody can say anything they want, right? We have free speech here, but can they prove it? And women are naturally drawn to the hunter, protector, provider, right? That's just a fundamental aspect. So when we look at what the government does and what our society has done, is they have dumbed down both parties, male and female. They've said, well, hey, we're going to create just this concept of the perfect female, and we're going to create this concept of the perfect male, and that's what people kind of go for. But once you actually break it down to a psychological point, like the judge was talking about earlier, you need to really figure out what you want and don't settle for less, because that's your life. Nobody's living your life for you, and it's the ability to actually get into somebody's mind, and you have a spiritual connection to somebody, and 99.9% of the time it's going to be different than your ideal, and really our weakness as people is we create these ideals, and that's what the government and the media has imposed upon us, is to create this ideal of what you want rather than what you actually want yourself. They try to tell you what you want, what the ideal female or the ideal male looks like. And the ideal male is like a bearded, kind of half-ass shaven dude that's willing to die to protect his family, and the ideal woman, you know, the nurturer, the carer, you know, and you can break it back down to the caveman days. Women would go for the biggest, most burliest men they could come across because they felt protected. And somehow that has been diminished and diluted, like concentrations of like bleach in a pool. It's just been diluted of what women should want in a man, and then both parties are responsible for all of this, and we need to look at what the government is telling us that we want through media, through commercials, through all of that, and actually say, like, what do I want in my life? I have one life on this planet. What do I want in this life? And go from there. And that's really where you build it on. And if you just go around and just screw a bunch of people for a little bit and just mentally break away from it, there's nothing wrong with that. We're people. We have emotions, but we're forced into channels that kind of misconstrue who we are, and it's more a brainwashing than who we are as people. And as long as we recognize individuality and respect everybody's individuality, as long as you're not harming anybody, if somebody just wants to be a slut, man or female, they're not harming anybody. It's consensual, and somehow all of that has came down to try to decimate our society, and it's pretty much government and media imposed on everybody. But thanks for having me. Just sorry for rambling. I try to get kind of deep and into
I
like
don't
that.
think you're rambling. I think you're right there on point talking about the things that are on people's mind when it comes to mating. And the dating game is a prequel to mating. So there's no way around it. We just kind of disguise it because we get too complicated about it, but not complicated enough, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So would you buy a vehicle without test driving it?
There you
I mean,
go.
I'm seriously like
There you
seriously
go.
like
Is
the
their
people
penis.
people.
This is amazing. You guys are proving my point. This
Yeah,
like you're not
I
even
mean,
wrong about
I'm
eating
seriously
off
like
of your
like
dingling, right?
yeah, the whole prearranged
Yeah.
marriage. Everybody
Jeez
does this, everybody does
Louise,
that. But
dude.
like seriously, think about it. Would you ever buy a vehicle without test driving it? And if the
No.
answer is
How
no,
are you
Why
going to
y'all
you,
keep
compare
comparing
a
women to
grown
cars?
woman to a car? Are you really
That's
doing
Very
what I'm
that?
easily.
saying.
Very
What the freak?
easily. Let me
but
explain
it's
how.
both.
Let me explain how. Let me
We're not
explain to the
cars.
lady. When
The
you
lady
look
can
at it,
also test drive a man.
Excuse me,
okay,
excuse me, Judge is talking.
let me explain this. When you look at a car, what do you see first?
I don't know. I'm not a car enthusiast. Go ahead and walk us
Well,
through it,
you
Judge.
look at the appearance of the car. Then you want to see the luxury of the upholstery inside the car. You want to see how the car rides, if it's a comfortable ride or is it something that is set up for a more sporty drive. You want to see what kind of get up and go it has, what kind of acceleration, how it handles curves and swerves, how well it stops. Are you just looking for basic transportation? Can you afford an upscale vehicle? Are you talking about a Chevette or a Prius, which is all you can afford to drive to get from here to there? Or can you afford a Porsche, Ferrari, Bentley, Lamborghini, or something like that, or a Rolls, or is it a Chrysler 300, a town car? What are you talking about? You see, it all is quite similar. Now, you may be initially attracted to the car because it looks good, but if you find it doesn't have performance, you don't get it. Lincoln's town cars are very popular with chauffeurs because in limo services because they are reliable. They've got a great transmission. Cadillac, the transmissions are crap. They use one that came out of a Chevette bin, and it doesn't work well. You can't use them as limos because the transmissions break down easily. But when you drive a town car, they've got this light switch brakes. The power brakes are primitive, they are not progressive. You touch them and they're full on, so you have to go through all kinds of changes to make sure you don't jerk your passengers. There are ins and outs of anything that you get. So when you go shop for a car, you're doing precisely the same thing that you do when you're shopping for a woman. Are you looking for the looks? Are you looking for the performance? Are you looking for the ride? Are you looking for what you get in terms of longevity? All of these same things go for car or women, and women do the same thing. Now, my niece is a beautician. My first mother-in-law was a beautician, and I have not necessarily been in beauty salons because I wanted to be there, but because I was doing something to help out mother-in-law or niece, and I listened to what the lady sitting in the chairs were saying. And sometimes I would attest to this. I've never heard guys get as graphic, raw, or basic as I've heard the women. So, I mean, if I could, I'd blush, but I'd hide behind the magazine Well, I'm waiting to run this errand for mother-in-law or for niece, and I'm going, wow, that's really raw. So it goes both ways.
Judge, one quick question. I'm so
Sure.
excited to ask you that. In other words, men love hoes and hoes make the best wives.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
I mean, the way you talk about cars sounds like
N-
a hoe. So I think
No,
hoes would
no,
be the
no,
best way
no,
to have a
no,
good relationship with men, right?
no. Here's the thing. You mate with a Ferrari. What are you likely to get out of the mate? You mate with a Volkswagen. What are you likely to get to carry on your lineage?
Men don't go
Yeah,
for
we
women
do. Yeah,
for
we do. We
Judge,
do it more so than women.
be honest. In the last 40 years, have men had babies by women they thought had high GPAs or high IQs?
Yes, they do. They want high GPAs and high looks. I had a home in Aspen, Colorado for like 12, 14 years. You ought to hear what the billionaires say. They want a fine,
That's
brilliant woman.
billionaires, don't judge.
Yeah, but you should aspire. I'm not a commoner.
No,
I
you're
can walk.
exceptional.
I can walk with the common man, but I have ability. So, in other words, what you want is somebody that looks like a Ferrari and performs like a Ferrari and has great mental acumen. So she's got a high IQ. And
Okay.
what winds up happening is your children and your grandchildren wind up controlling fortunes and control real
Men are
power
doing
in the
that today,
world.
Judge?
Yes, they are.
Men today are having babies by women that have high IQs. They purposely are mating with these women because
Also, beautiful women who have high IQ.
Cardi B has a high IQ.
No,
Okay.
I'm not talking about Cardi B. She's a hoe. She
Oh,
admits
that's what
she's
I'm
a
saying.
hoe.
You put me.
I'm not, I don't want, I wouldn't, you couldn't get me to even date a Cardi B.
Judge, I love you. I gotta go.
But let me say this. One woman I dated for 8 years, we're still close friends. She had some platinum albums. And she used to sing the song that everybody in the nightclub is dancing to. She'd be singing it in my ear, and she's the one that's on the album. So, you can go that way. She's also somebody who was very intelligent. My last wife was movie star fine, but she was also a Mensa. She had some problems, and most of those problems were she didn't believe in herself, and there was only so much I could do with her. And I dealt with her from the time she was 29 until she was in her late 50s. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah,
It
I
depends
disagree that
upon the
men
person.
are mating with women to have high IQ babies and intelligent women, intelligent
Well,
Well,
babies.
only smart guys. They smart guys who want a certain type of woman. There are people, men and women, who end up having babies by someone who's just low grade. But
Mm.
there are people who specifically seek a certain type. But you have to specifically know what you want. I want to get to Avia
well, let
and
me make one
lifestyle.
last statement on this. I tell young men when I counsel them, I said, look, don't screw anybody. You wouldn't want to be caught walking in broad daylight down the middle of Main Street with all of your best friends watching.
Okay. Thank you all for having me here. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna come back whenever when I have longer time, but I really, really appreciate it. And I want everybody to know that my tone is different with the judge versus the other men because I do show respect to men and I actually show a level of submission in my voice. I am a masculine type of woman, but when I don't respect you, I come and match that masculine energy. And I think most women need to embrace that. Peace and love, everybody.
Nothing wrong with that. And this
But
lady just said
wait,
something
I have a
important.
question for that though. I have a question. Oh, she left. I have
No,
a
this
question,
lady
but
just said
the
something
wait, let me say
important.
this because I understand what she's saying, but if a man isn't disrespecting you, whether you agree with what he said or not, as long as he's not disrespecting you, that's why you should. I should respect the people because I want people to respect me, whether I agree with your ideology or not. So if you disagree, I guess your level of respect is low. I wanted her to clarify that, but it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
Dana, thank you for saying that because she doesn't know me and I definitely don't know her. And I didn't disrespect, I feel like any woman. I think that she took everything I said out of context just because she wanted somebody to attack. Because I clearly stated that I like ambitious women who have degrees, who are in politics, who are in science, who are lawyers, et cetera, et cetera. Those are the type of women that I go after. And like the judge says, it's an extra plus if you look like a Ferrari, in using his comparison. But I just think that she wanted somebody to attack. But yeah,
I think she wasn't hearing you because you didn't say what you said the way she expected it to be said. So that says a lot about don't have preconceived notions. That goes back to my initial posit, which is what does it take to get over with somebody or to relate to somebody? Answer, there is no formula except be yourself. And it depends upon whether the two of you are suited for each other.
Mm-hmm. All right. So
And one other thing I'd offer in this, I date, I still have sex, I enjoy women,
do
I
we need to
have
know that?
a lot of women friends, but take it in the context that I have children, grandchildren. I guess even though they're by the first wicked witch that I chose, her family had good lineage. So now I have a very intelligent, drop dead gorgeous looking granddaughter. So, in other words, it bred forward. But I would say this, I am 77 years old, so I'm not really in the mating game. I'm in something else at the moment.
Judge, you do sneaky links? You have sneaky links?
No, I don't.
So you say you sexually active, so you have to have sneaky links.
What's
Well,
that?
If that's the case.
I don't need that.
What's
I
what's
get
sneaky links?
It's somebody you just choose to be sexually active with. You're not
no,
dating, no
no, no,
commitment.
no, no. I want to find a wife because life is a lot simpler when you have a wife, even though it can get complicated. You live anywhere from 12 to 14 years longer as a man if you have a wife.
Right. But I heard it also shortens the life of a woman as well.
Well, the
Uh oh.
women live longer than guys anyway, so it's a trade-off.
Yeah. All right.
Uh
I want to
oh.
get to
What?
Avia and swing back to Nick. And like I said, anybody else want to request to come up, please do so. We got about 20 more minutes until midnight. Go ahead, Avia.
To be honest, I really lost my place. It was basically piggybacking off of like basically date what's best for you. You always hear people say, "Oh, why is she with him?" or "Why is he with her?" But they also match. They may have like a huge interest in comics, and they go to Comic Con a lot, and music festivals, whatever the case. But to be honest, I really lost my thought because how long that lasted. So that was just basically the gist of it right there.
Well, you're talking reality, like I said before. It depends. It's complicated. There is no one formula, even for one individual. It depends on who that individual is relating with. In other words, here's one other thing, too. Nobody, and I told my divorce clients or clients that I had counseled to keep them from getting to be divorce clients. It's about a relationship. You don't own anybody. My man, my woman. No, they're not. They're only going to be there as long as the relationship is beneficial to both sides. In other words, where on balance, each party thinks this is an acceptable relationship, if that makes sense. In other words, on balance, are you happy with what you have? The other
Yes.
thing too is when you keep thinking of he or she belongs to me, that means you're talking about they're loyal to me. And the only way you can be completely sure that somebody is completely loyal to you is to follow them quietly and secretly 24/7. But that is dysfunctional. In other words, are you happy with the way the two of you relate with each other? That is the main course. That is the thing you look for, not they belong to me. I
And
just
like, oops, excuse me.
I just had something where a good friend of mine who happens to be female, she married, going through a divorce. She had an interesting thing. She was at home one morning, totally unexpected. Husband worked two jobs, and there was a knock on the door. She answered the door, and the young lady said, "Hey, I want you to know our man has been cheating on us." So just think about it.
How did she even get the address?
Yeah,
Okay. She must have been there.
yeah. But
That's
yeah, I know
crazy.
it is what it is. But then again, I've had guys that have been stone in love with this woman, had three children, and some things hit the fan. And during the course of the divorce, this last child was born, and just to be honorary about it, they demanded a paternity test. Paternity test came back negative. He wasn't the daddy. The children, who were in college or grown, said, "What do you mean? This test shows, Mama, what you talking about? It says that this child isn't daddy's. What have you been doing?" So the three children got together and got a test. They discovered to their shock, because they really loved their daddy, that he wasn't anybody's father. The father of the last child was the father of the first one, and there was another guy who was father of the middle two. So they wouldn't talk to mama anymore. Now, see, stuff like that happens. Life is difficult from time to time.
So
Uh, okay, where we're at. I'm sorry, you was saying something, Avia? I ain't
yeah,
want to. Okay.
I was going
Well,
to
after
ask.
you, I'll swing the Nick. Go ahead.
Okay. Thanks. I was going to say is that most men would rather not date women with children versus women they would consider or would date men with children. So like
Well, you
what
know why? This is the reason. Handling a bunch of divorces and clients and counseling them, it's all of these children that the guy is obligated to support. He has a vested interest in continuing his legacy into the next generation. So he's got four children, five children, two by the first arrangement, three by the second. All five of them are his. On the other hand, if he comes into a relationship where he has none and the woman has three or four, he's going to wind up having to support somebody else's legacy. So that is not beneficial to him outside of his love for the woman. And he might even deeply resent it. In other words, why did she pick this guy over me to begin with, even though I wasn't around? And now I'm supposed to take care of his children. What about my own? And she's telling me she doesn't want to have any more because she's had enough, but none of them are mine. And if it ends here today, there is no more me on the next generation. That's the selfishness that just comes from nature. That's one of the differences. Plus, you may be the sultan, richest man in the empire, and you have many wives and concubines and many children, and you can support all of them better than anybody else in your kingdom. That's a male thing. You are the bull of the herd, so you protect all of the cows in the herd. It's the difference between male and female.
Yes, yes.
But if that's an explanation.
All right, so Nick and two people came up, the company and Walter. We'll go in that order, and then I'll let everybody bring have their last remarks. Well, yeah, up until we're gonna close out like at midnight. So anybody else want to request to come up, do it now because we're definitely gonna end it at midnight. But go ahead, Nick, then the company and okay, not the company, Nick and then Walter. And then I'll swing back to Sharice or Lifestyle Avia. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I just want to say, like I said earlier, it really comes back to what you want in your own life. You need to create your own independence. There is no such thing as an ideal anything for anybody. That's just an impossible formula. There's no calculation for the ideal physique, right? Every single person here that's been in a relationship, you connect with them on a mental level, not a physical level. And it really comes down to what you want in your life. And it does, like Jojo Brown was talking about, there are sacrifices, right? You have to make certain sacrifices. And there's certain things that you can't sacrifice because it sacrifices you as a person. You need to figure out what you want in your life. And what I mean by that is, hey, this, I want this and this. Figure out where you draw the line in the sand and you shall not cross it. And that's how you find a person. And a lot of people kind of misconstrue that of like, well, hey, this person did this, and you judge them on their past. Judge them for what they're doing right now rather than what they did in the past. Because everybody's past is past. Every single person on this space has fundamentally a fucked up past. Every single person here can look back on their past and have regrets. So how do you take your past regrets and turn them into something along the lines of, this is my, I will not cross line, and you have some self-respect rather than expecting a stature or title or a monetary income of the person that you're trying to date. Hold yourself accountable, because that's the only one thing that you can control is your own mind, right? That's the only thing you can control. How do you draw a line in the sand? Like, well, I can eliminate this, this, and this because they cross that line. How do you hold yourself accountable? Rather than looking for the ideal partner, create your ideal self. Hold yourself accountable and build on that. And really look at it. Like I'm happily married. I have 2 kids, a 4-year-old son, a 10-year-old daughter, and they're great. They're great. Like I teach them how to with a razor knife how to build like figure 4 deadfall traps. They're great. If they're bored off of it, I'm like, well, cool. I'm not gonna force them to do something. As soon as you force somebody to fit your ideal, you're gonna run into nothing but problems. Look at what you want in yourself, in your life. Don't let anybody else, in any way, shape, or form, tell you what you want in your life. So, Aristotle, Socrates, Plato, you light a candle. Eventually, the candle's gonna burn out. That means you're dead. Your candle is lit. Every single person listening to this space has a candle that is lit. And it's up to you what you want. And you're gonna mess up. You're gonna epically fail. It's okay. That's part of life. Learning from those lessons and really building on what you want in this life. You have that candle. If you consider your life, your heartbeat, your conscience, your soul as a candle, eventually the candle will die. What do you want in your life, and where do you draw the lines in the sand of absolutely not? And be open to things, because as soon as everybody's like, well, I hate spicy food, I hate spicy food, you know, even my wife, she hated spicy food. Right now, she eats spicy food. Like, but like, where do you draw the line in the sand? And it's really, there has to be some sort of sacrifice to everything. If people are just horny at a bar, at 1 o'clock a.m., human nature is going to take its course. But what do you really want in life? What do you really actually fundamentally want in life? Where do you draw the line in the sand and, like, take the Sparta 300, like, you shall not pass, and you boot them. Where do you draw that line? Only yourself. This is your life. You have one chance on this planet to make the best life that you can for yourself. But also, if you're procreating at all, you have children. How do you make their life the best life possible? You set standards for yourself and set standards for your children. And you shall not pass this line. You cannot cross this. Even go back to biblical terms. Like, you cannot cross this line. This line is a no, 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 and hold yourself to the standard. And a lot of times, what I see in society is people are willing to sacrifice their standards for acceptance.
All right. I need
Well
to get
said,
to
by the way.
Walter.
Well said.
All right. Go ahead, Walter.
Good evening, Dana, Judge Joe Brown, and the panel. This is a very deep subject. Most of everybody might not know about my past. I always like to talk about my past, which was horrible. I heard Nick talk about everyone has a past. I don't know. Everybody say they were perfect, but I had a past while I was in the streets, and it was dealing with prostitution. Actually, I had the same charges that P. Diddy had at the age of 21, 22, 24, something like that. Met a guy that was a pimp. I was a dog trainer. He said, you train my dog, I'll teach you how to pimp. But anyway, to make a long story short is that I went to college, came out of college and started a dog training business. I never was really in the streets. But when I got in there and I learned some of the negative things in life, in the streets, really tore my life up for 6 years, 8 months, because I ended up going to prison, where it's a very negative place, but you do meet some men in there. And there was a lot of men in prison that were real men. I went to the federal prison. You had judges there. I actually was there with Mayor Young's bodyguard that was in there. So it was some well-to-do people there. And I learned a lot about being a man in prison. I hate to say I had to go to prison and learn a lot. And I realized that I was a selfish guy. And even when I came out, I really realized I still was selfish in my 30s, and I was not fit for a good woman, period. And I knew when I came out, I said, look, if you're not going to be serious, don't get married. I'm 56. I've never been married. The life I live now is very lonely because I know time has passed, and there's a lot of things that when you're 56 years old and older, whatever, that you shouldn't do. You shouldn't get involved in it. I don't even try to go out and date now because I feel that, uh, first of all, I'm right, like Nick said, well, Joe Brown said, I'm focusing on my legacy. My children, and I got 2 grandchildren, so everything I own is paid off. It's going to them. And when I meet women that have kids, and I have tried to date women that have kids, it's all about them and their kids. And I happen to have 5. And all of mine are pretty much graduated from college. But my legacy must go on. And it goes through my kids. So it kind of separates me from really wanting to get serious with a woman unless she understands that if we do it and you have children, it's got to be all of us, not just your children, And I've ran into those situations. But I will say that, with the life experience that I've had, a lot of men are just real selfish and they don't think about getting their lives together first, being solid within themselves and being a real man and taking care of themselves and not depending on a woman to take care of them on anything. I wash, clean, cook, pay all my bills, everything. Nobody does anything for me now. And I thank God I was blessed like that, but I will say you have to be good enough for a good woman, and I'll land there.
Good point. Well put. Good point.
All right. Brooklyn, hi, go ahead.
Brooklyn.
Hey, what's up, Judge? What's up, Dana? How y'all been?
All
Good.
right.
How are you?
Good, good. And shalom to the space from the ISUPK. This is a heavy topic because everybody loves to share experiences and give advice, but the only thing that will ever fix relationships, that will ever hold relationships together, is an actual standard, an actual set of rules. And that's something we have. The so-called black man, the true Jews of the Bible, we have an actual culture that dictates how you're to treat other people, what your responsibility is to a person that you're with. Other than that, people in this world love going on feelings. And that's why this is a world of broken relationships, failing relationships, people that can't figure out how to stay together. And we've all been through this. And we're all going to keep going through it as long as we're just trying to wing it and figure it out on our own and go off feelings. And that's all we keep hearing. And there's nothing, that's not an attack on anybody's experiences, but that's what we're taught in this society, to figure it out based on how you feel. And that's meaningless. We have a set of laws that tells you exactly when you can and can't leave somebody, exactly how you must fix whatever the issue is, and it causes you to stand in the box and deal with it. It causes you to take it more seriously when you get with somebody in the first place. It causes you to take that choice more seriously. And if we had that and raised our next generation with that, then we would lose a lot of these issues that we have today. But I'm gonna just leave it there for now.
Again, that was profound.
All right. Nick, you got your hand up. I know. Go ahead, Nick. Can it be not so long-winded?
Yeah, they'll try to be quick. Like I'm just a white dude in East Texas. I fled Colorado because of their liberal principles that basically defined my individual liberty, which is my pursuit of happiness, as promised in our constitutions. You know, there is a sacrifice. How do you hold yourself to a certain standard? All right, like Walter said, he's what 65, and he can't find no women his age. I call bullshit on that. I guarantee you, there's a whole lot of women that Walter would find attractive that would fit right into his mold, but somehow, there's like a error. There's like a non-communication between Walter and women his age.
I'm
and
sorry, real quick. Because I was in and out, so I didn't hear what Walter was saying. Was it an age limit, Walter? Was it a?
Walter just said he wasn't dating or not married because he doesn't think he's fit to be a husband.
How old are you, Walter?
Correct. I'm 56. That's correct.
And you still don't think you're fit to be a husband?
Well, here's the thing. The thing about it is, I messed around. Well, I ain't gonna say a negative. I got blessed to where I'm pretty financially stable and straight. So there's a lot of factors that play in the part when you got everything solid. you know, it's just, it's really not easy. Put it that way.
Because you have money, you saying it's not easy?
I don't want to talk about all that, but the fact of the matter is that when you meet people, that's all they see, and they figure out, you know, it's not. It's hard to get to know people, and I try to hide what I'm doing, and I don't let people know what's what, and it's still kind of hard to just meet a person and they just accept you for who you
Well,
are.
do you know how to? It sounds like do you know how to properly vet women?
Of course I do.
So if you know how to properly vet women, it doesn't matter what their intentions are, right? Because you should know what you want. You should know what you're looking for. You should know how to maneuver, whether it's questions or, whether it's to see if this person has XYZ values. And then again, it takes time to get to know someone. So you don't have to rush into anything. But if you know how to vet a woman, your money is irrelevant. If you want a woman to have her own, that's fine. But maybe the problem is your vetting process or not knowing exactly the type of woman that you may want, because you need to start somewhere.
Let me say this real quick. There's been a couple of famous women I've tried to date, and they would say, and they don't know this too. They would say, "Oh, he don't have the money. I was with what's the name, such," and they don't even know. And
But then
the thing about, I'm just
and you
gonna
know
leave it.
what? And that's easy for you to move on. Okay, dismiss them,
Yeah.
get them.
Oh yeah.
So you know what you don't want, and that's a good starting point. But now it's time to figure out, what do you want? Where do you go to meet these
Yeah.
women? I don't know, what city or state you're in, but either way, there's people out there. If and then two, maybe you are fine being single. That's your prerogative. Only thing I'm saying is, don't let your financial status be a hurdle as to why you don't have a woman or not married or whatever.
So I done been in LA a lot, Arizona a lot, uh, Michigan, North Carolina, Miami. The thing about it is like I said, nobody wants to be with anybody broke. I get all that. But the point is that everything is not about material things, period. And like when you say, I mean, I done been around a lot of folks, just put it that way. When I go to service, I go to Agape in LA, so I be around a lot of folks. And my thing is that, I've learned that I'm very happy and peaceful living by myself too. So I don't know if I've been doing that too long or
Mhm.
not. I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes we get into that little, because I had to question myself with that. Look, if you single, and especially if you already happy, like nobody can make you happy. Your happiness is up to us as individuals. But and a lot of times when you are single for so long and you have a good life and you have friends or whatever, and you fulfill, you kind of get stuck in that way, because if you do meet someone, you consider a good, wonderful person. If you're in a relationship, you have to let that person in. And if you are used to being by yourself, single for so long, sometimes that could be hard as well, whether you got money or not. So I understand. I get where you're coming from. And a lot of people now are just so superficial, men and women. But even women now, even women who have their own money
Yeah,
and their
I
own
agree,
means,
totally.
they want a man to still give them the world. So I think there are women now who are just unrealistic in their dating views. So, yeah. So it's I'm
Probably,
not a
by me having, I've tried to, probably me trying to flirt with everybody that I meet too, probably had a lot to do with it too. So I just
maybe.
don't
I
try to
don't
do that.
Only thing I'm saying is your money should be the last factor. I think there are other variables that you need to deal with when it comes to finding someone, and your money isn't the issue.
No, I don't
I
think
think
I don't think they don't know. So I know that's not it because I've did well in terms of.
Mm-hmm. um right.
But after a lot of them had, like a lot of women have found out after the fact. You follow me?
Right.
Like after we don't stop conversing,
Right.
because I don't never just, when I'm in other states, nobody knows anything.
All right, let me swing the
You
king.
just meet me on Facebook.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Let me swing the king, and Ava, you had your hand up, and we about like 10 more minutes. We'll wrap it up. Go ahead, King.
All right, what up, man? What up, Josh? You know, this shit is deep, man. It's not. I mean,
oh my God, King, yeah, King. You need to write out what you're gonna say, honey, because every week now,
I come on the top. I come on the top, like you know what I mean. I ain't gotta write shit down.
Yeah, you do. Okay,
man.
so have you? Because you always sound like you've been sipping.
Man. Can I get off? Yeah, can I get off or what?
Are you high?
All right, now here's the thing, right? We gotta understand, you know what I mean, what happened to our people, right? And you know, once we understand that and we can actually tap into that element, then it dictates, you know what I mean, which way relationships and you know things should go.
Well, what do you
moving
mean
forward.
our people? What do you mean by our people?
I'm talking about my people here on this land.
Who's your people?
I mean?
Who's your people?
My people.
Who are they?
My people are native to this land. Chata, Seminoles.
Oh, black people.
You know what I mean?
You talking about black people?
Talk about Black Americans.
Yeah. Okay. Listen, so this is not the political race.
Nah, hold on. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about when it comes down to our relationships, right? Because if we think that what happened to our people is not, you know, synonymous to where we're at now and the understanding of what happened, then we're only fooling ourselves, right? Okay, so, you know, we gotta understand, you know what I mean, how this thing actually went, you know what I mean, and backtrack, you know what I mean, the records and the things that really matter, right? Niggas out here talking about money, right? Dollars and shit, right? Killing, right? Doing all this goofy shit behind a couple dollars, right? But we're talking about, you know what I mean, our property and our lands that have been destroyed.
Well, we're not talking about that tonight.
Hold on, but you know what I mean? It's directly tied, right, to our women, right? Directly tied, right?
What did we do?
What do you mean your women? What do you mean your women?
Hold on. Shut up and be quiet, right? It's directly tied, right, to our women, and our women need to understand, you know what I mean, where they stand in this situation, relationship wise, right?
Both men and women are at fault.
No, hold on, right? Now, when we talk about our women, we saying, okay.
What do you mean your women? Please explain that first.
You, shut up, be quiet, quit coming up the mic.
You're talking about what you see in the media or something?
All right, so I mean,
he's blaming us for the destruction.
No. I'm not blaming you.
Yes, you are.
How do you take that?
Brother, you're not saying nothing, brother. Put the blunt down.
Man, listen.
Put the blunt down, brother.
Niggas can spin this shit.
Put it down. Turn your mic off.
Right?
Turn your phone off. Go to sleep. You done for the night.
However you want to spin it, right?
I know.
But
nah, you've been spinning.
We talking about continents, right? Of maternal lines.
Oh yeah, tell us all about the continents and the maternal lines.
We're talking about whole lands, right? Maternal lines.
He's not talking about nothing. We gotta
and these
move
niggas
on.
want, niggas, guess what? if you niggas is interested in letting these women, right,
Huh?
how you niggas
Yeah, tell us
operate,
more.
and you niggas are
I'm
sensitive and
crying.
emotional and shit, right? If that's what you
Who
Okay.
hurt
niggas want
you?
to do,
God.
right?
Hey,
If that's what
Mute,
you
hey.
niggas want
mute,
to keep
mute,
doing,
mute,
nigga,
mute.
right? Guess what,
No.
nigga? You fuck around and die.
All
Whoa,
right.
whoa, whoa,
You're
whoa,
doing too much
whoa,
Drop
cursing.
him.
whoa,
Too
whoa.
much
Yeah, you
Oh
fuck
cursing.
around
my
and
god.
die, right? It's been
Drop him.
happening. All right, so
Yo,
what I'm saying
who
is,
mans is this? Who mans is
I
this?
don't know
That's
what.
my man's. That's my man's, y'all. That's
Nigga,
my man's, y'all.
we
That's my
spinning the whole
Wait.
narrative. Nigga,
All
we
right.
spinning,
King,
Go
King.
get your
we
mans,
turning
bro.
the whole
I'm
shit,
good. I'll
nigga.
get him. Look, let me
We
land your
turning the
plane,
whole
brother. I know
shit,
what you're
pussy
saying.
ass.
You
King.
saying
King.
basically
I,
you saying
I'm
King.
saying
basically
niggas
because
is
of
pussy,
slavery and all
nigga.
that. I get it. We get
I'm
it.
saying niggas is pussy.
All right.
What women got to do with
I
this?
just dropped him down the
Really?
speaker because he couldn't hear me when I was trying to talk to him. But Judge, I think the judge fell asleep.
Yeah, he's asleep.
Judge knocked out on us.
So she said, I heard
That
a
put
little.
him to sleep. That put him
Wake
to
up,
sleep.
Judge.
Oh my God. Judge.
You gotta put the TDJs, wake up, wake up.
Joe don't hit the Hennessy just a little bit too
Y'all,
No,
hard.
he
he
is
doesn't drink.
77. So just sleeping.
Actually, let me call him.
That's who made that comment about the Hennessy? Who
Huh?
Nick.
made that comment?
That was me.
Of course, that was the white
That was
boy that
me.
said some dumb shit like that.
About what?
Oh my god,
What?
here we go. I just wanted to land that brother's plane that Dana just had to land for him. I get what he's saying. He's talking about
That
how
brother plane
slavery
never got off
affected.
the ground.
What
Man,
does that have
Brooklyn,
to
I'm
do
about to
with
follow you,
women?
cuz. Yo,
I don't understand what he was saying with
he's
women.
basically trying to say how slavery affected the relationships between
The
black men and
judge is
women. That's
snoring.
what he's getting at.
Yeah.
Well, I asked him, was
I
it
just
what he
called
seen
him.
in the
He ain't picking
media?
up. Listen, let me just say this. He's been traveling and he just got
Yeah, I
he's been
understand.
traveling for this past weekend. So let me actually
Wait, do I hear snoring?
yeah, let me remove him from
This is
co-host.
this is interesting.
Oh my
I had
God.
to remove him from co-host. Wait a minute. Where did he go? Oh, he's at
Red
listen.
fish, blue fish, one fish, two fish, knick knack, paddywhack,
Anyway,
give a
give a
dollar
dog a
bone.
bone.
So
Am I the only white boy in here right now? Am I like seriously like the only white boy in here now?
Oh my
um
God.
Yes.
in the space, no, there, but
Hopefully.
whether you white, black, that's not the point. Why does everything gotta revert back to space? Even talking about relationships, like y'all need to leave that alone for a second, honey.
Right.
But the judge does not drink. He's been traveling, and I think it really caught up with him just now. So, and we're not talking about politics. But I think this was a nice different pace. This is a good pace. Because we started off talking about Sharice and HBCU, but then the judge was poking about her relationships, and it's like, you know what? Yeah, let's just talk about relationships. um, thank you,
Dan,
everybody.
can I say one thing, Dan?
Uh-huh.
Um, I just want to say thank you all for allowing me to speak. Thank you, Dana. Thank you, Judge Joe Brown. Shout out to Brooklyn, Ava, Nick, Walter, Sharice. Shout out to everybody that spoke. I appreciate your contribution. I really am going to reflect on that. I just want to invite everybody to Friday Space that me and another brother are having our second space on reparations. We have a plan, and it was very successful last night. So, just follow my page or whatever, and we'll be having it on Friday. I will invite you and Judge Joe Brown, Dana. Hopefully I can show up. Thank you all. Have a good night.
All right. Yeah, send me the link. I'm doing a show tomorrow night, but depending on the time, I could hop in as well. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Let me know, Dana, tomorrow.
Hmm?
You're doing a show tomorrow. Let me keep me
I'm
posted.
doing it. Yeah, it's on my YouTube channel um at 8 o'clock. But
Let's try to set something up with Sheriff Joe too. So DM me. Let's try to put that together.
okay.
All right.
Thank you, Sharice, Brooklyn, Avia, Lifestyle, Nick, King, and everyone else, Amazon, the people that came up, and of course, Judge Joe Brown. He's tired. Um,
Don't forget Nick Nack Paddywhack.
I
Give a
did say
dog a
Nick.
bone.
I said Nick. Um, so thank you guys, everybody listening on YouTube, Southern Belle, the moderators, everyone, Catalia. So appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in. This was something different. We'll get back to politics tomorrow on YouTube. Follow me on The Real Dana. Me and the judge will be live on Thursday, but I'm going to have tomorrow ladies from Chicago talking about Chicago migrants crisis and that school board scandal that's going on. So follow me on YouTube at The Real Dana, and we'll be back on X Space next week, Tuesday, refreshed and talking about whatever is trending. All right, guys. Good night.
Dan, real
Good
quick,
night,
do
everyone.
you ever have any problems with any of them? Please send me a DM. We'll handle it legally. And you got a white boy on your side.
Problems with who? Nick?
School board, anybody. You got a white boy on your side.
Oh,
Like,
in
I'm very
Chicago?
well versed in the Constitution. All of them, anywhere, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
We resort to our Constitution, our state Constitution, and we don't give the federal government 1 inch to even try to subvert anything in any way, shape, or form. You
Okay.
know.
Cool. All right. Appreciate that.
But if I can help you out, ping a white boy.
All right. Appreciate that. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you on YouTube tomorrow and next week here, next week Tuesday. All right. Bye.